This is the part 2 of the novel. For other parts, please refer to the description of this video or the video list on the channel. Chapter 21, Palace Intrigue Reversal, Zhao Ping's Misfortune. Gu Xian Chang was undeniably a formidable woman, yet her innermost being remained perpetually fragile. She persistently clung to the belief that humanity harbored ultimate benevolence. It was precisely because of this that she refrained from hastily revealing Wu Feng's shareholder status. Her intention was to ascertain whether among these shareholders, there were any inclined to change course. Zhao Ping chuckled, "Madame Gu, I can unequivocally assure you, it is worthwhile, all that we have done." Gu Xian Cheng interrogated him, "Do these words not prick your conscience?" "Ha ha ha." Zhao Ping laughed heartily. "The company will continue its trajectory, reversing its fortunes, and I believe the future will be even brighter. But the precondition is, Madame Gu, that you relinquish your authority and cede your position to someone more competent. Therefore, the issue you should consider is not the listing of Bud Blossom, but rather when you will step down yourself." Gu Xianqing's complexion tensed, her right hand tightly gripping her phone, sweat trickling from her palm. Seeing her agitation, Zhao Ping grew even more smug, immediately remarking, "Gentlemen, do you agree with my viewpoint?" "I concur, I wholeheartedly agree. I believe Madame Gu should vacate her position and yield to a more outstanding individual." "Indeed, I support Mr. Zhao assuming leadership of the group, confident he will lead the company to glory. Some people just like occupying the latrine without defecating, it's infuriating." Gu Xianqing's complexion turned pallid, her body beginning to tremble. Zhao Ping approached Gu Xianqing, once again addressing the assembly, "Gentlemen, perhaps it would be best to discuss the election of the chairman today?" Suddenly, Wu Feng spoke up, "I choose your father." Wu Feng's words immediately drew everyone's attention. Zhao Ping turned, "What audacity! Do you even have the right to speak here?" Wu Feng retorted, "And what about you? What qualifies you to speak on behalf of the chairman?" Smack! Zhao Ping's hand slammed onto the table. "You wretched security guard, are you tired of living? I promise, once the meeting is over, you'll be packing your bags and leaving." "Silence!" Gu Xianqing rose, loudly admonishing, while shielding Wu Feng to prevent him from causing further disruption. Zhao Ping cocked his head towards Gu Xianqing, "Miss Gu, have you lost your mind? How else could you allow such trash into the company?" Gu Xianqing paid no heed to Zhao Ping, instead turning her gaze towards the other directors present. "Since someone has proposed my removal as chairman, I'd like to know how many shareholders agree to my stepping down." The shareholders who had previously sided with Zhao Ping eagerly raised their hands. "Madame Gu, please don't blame us. We prefer Mr. Zhao as our leader. In any case, you're a major shareholder, even if you're not chairman, you can still count your money while lying down. At your age, why not find a good man to marry instead of wasting your youth?" Gu Xianqing's gaze swept across all the directors present. The vast majority raised their hands to express their stance. At least a few directors were still hesitant to vote. Zhao Ping spoke up, "Uncle Lu, Uncle Li, Uncle Zhang, what are your considerations?" Upon hearing Zhao Ping's words, the remaining directors lowered their heads, one by one raising their hands. Zhao Ping smiled, slowly raising his own hand, "Apologies, Madame Gu, the entire body of shareholders has approved this resolution. Please step down." Gu Xianqing shook her head, sighing softly. Years of collaboration, emotions, ultimately succumbed to power play. "Madame Gu, congratulations on your early retirement." Zhao Ping stepped forward, revealing a malicious smile. Wu Feng spoke up, "Who said all the shareholders agreed? Is it you again?" Zhao Ping roared, "Are you blind? Everyone agreed." "I disagree." Wu Feng spoke up. "Ha ha ha." Zhao Ping burst into laughter. The shareholders joined in mocking laughter. "A mere security guard, and you dare to disagree? Did a monkey invite you here as a jester? This is a shareholders' meeting. What does a security guard like you have to do with it? It's already a great fortune for you to stand here, and you want to vote? I'm laughing to death. Madame Gu must be blind to hire someone like him." Wu Feng snorted, surveying the crowd. "Who said I'm not a shareholder anymore?" This statement plunged the room into silence. All eyes turned to Gu Xianqing. Zhao Ping spoke, "Gu Xianqing, what is the meaning of this?" Gu Xianqing rose, "Gentlemen, I can confirm to you all, Wu Feng is a shareholder of Xianqing Group, holding 51% of the shares." "What? A security guard is a shareholder? Holding 51% of the shares? What kind of joke is this? Madam Gu, are you joking? Who gave him shares? Gu Xianqing smiled. His shares, naturally, were given by me. Assistant Xiaoya immediately displayed the share transfer agreement on the large screen. Xiaoya explained, Gentlemen shareholders, this is the share transfer agreement. Lawful and reasonable Wu Feng will become the largest shareholder of Xianqing Group. For a moment, the shareholders were baffled. What? A share transfer agreement? A security guard becomes the largest shareholder of the group? Zhao Ping erupted in rage. Gu Xianqing, you shameless woman, have you lost your mind? Giving such a large portion of shares to a fool of a security guard? Wu Feng stepped forward, his palm striking Zhao Ping's face. Smack! The crisp sound reverberated throughout the meeting room. Wu Feng spoke, What's wrong with hitting you? I can still beat you, and I can kill you. This is outrageous. Chapter 22, Triumph and Radiance, Gu Xian's Ripples. Zhao Ping went berserk, scrambling backward while bellowing at the door, Security. Bang! The doors of the conference room burst open. Dozens of security personnel barged in. Zhao Ping instructed them, Beat Wu Feng for me, beat that scoundrel to a pulp. The security personnel stood motionless. Zhao Ping roared, What are you looking at? He's just a security manager. I'll fire him immediately, so vent your frustrations if you must. Yet the security personnel remained indifferent. They had already witnessed the terror of Wu Feng. Regardless of his role as security manager, nobody dared to confront him physically. Wu Feng sneered, Since you won't touch me, then beat up Zhao Ping for me. Yes, manager. Without hesitation, the security personnel charged forward to pummel Zhao Ping. You bunch of bastards, have you all gone mad? Dare to lay a hand on me? Zhao Ping yelled furiously. Ah! Stop! I surrender. The shareholders were so frightened they dared not speak. No one knew the script Gu Xian was playing. At that moment, Wu Feng spoke again, That's enough, it's no fun if someone gets killed. Yes, manager. White Cannon nodded and promptly led the security team out in the corner. Zhao Ping's head was bloodied, his body covered in bruises, a pitiful sight. Trembling, he pulled out his phone and dialed the emergency number. Before long, the police arrived. Who called the police? Zhao Ping hurriedly pointed at Wu Feng. Officers, I did. This man, Wu Feng, assaulted me. Wu Feng spoke up, Officers, I'd like to file a complaint too. Zhao Ping is suspected of eavesdropping and trafficking company trade secrets. Zhao Ping roared, What nonsense is this? Wu Feng spoke again, Zhao Ping, suspected of eavesdropping and trafficking company trade secrets. The police asked, Do you have evidence? Wu Feng directly tossed 5 small boxes onto the table. Here is the evidence. Seeing these small black boxes, Zhao Ping's sphincter tightened involuntarily. Wu Feng, are you insane? What the hell are these? You're framing me. Wu Feng looked at Xiaoya, Play the video. Of course. Xiaoya immediately operated the computer, and a surveillance footage appeared on the projection screen. The footage showed Zhao Ping surreptitiously placing these small boxes on Gu Xianqing's car, evidence of his actions. I can't believe it, is this Vice President Zhao? What's going on here? The face is too blurry from this distance, it's inconclusive. The shareholders discussed animatedly. Wu Feng smiled, instructing Xiaoya to zoom in on the footage. Then, Zhao Ping's sordid face appeared on the screen. Wu Feng said, Now, can you all see clearly? It's fake, it's all fake. Zhao Ping yelled defensively. He distinctly remembered deleting this footage himself, how could it possibly reappear? Wu Feng chuckled, Play the second video. Alright. Xiaoya immediately switched the video. The screen then displayed Zhao Ping sneaking into the surveillance room to delete the footage. Now, Zhao Ping was utterly dumbfounded, unable to argue his way out of this. The shareholders fell into a stunned silence. Wu Feng said, Vice President Zhao purchased eavesdropping and tracking devices online to steal company trade secrets, which he then sold to competitors. Officers, please investigate. Without further ado, the police arrested Zhao Ping. Zhao Ping, please come with us for questioning. I was the one who called the police first. They assaulted me, they struck first. First, you need to clarify the situation with yourself. With a firm grip, the police escorted Zhao Ping out of the company. Bang! The doors of the conference room closed. Gu Xianqing spoke, "Let the shareholders' meeting continue." The shareholders cowered like quails, none dared to speak. Zhao Ping had been the ringleader of rebellion. Everyone thought today would be a palace intrigue. Who would have expected such a dramatic turnaround? Gu Xianqing didn't step down, and Zhao Ping was the first to go. None of the shareholders present had clean hands. If Gu Xianqing truly delved into the matter, it would spell trouble. Now, Gu Xianqing had completely gained control of the company. Assistant Xiaoya spoke, according to the company's articles of association, shareholder Wu Feng supports Ms. Gu Xianqing to serve as chairman, and Ms. Gu Xianqing herself supports herself to continue as chairman. This proposal is null and void. The shareholders remained silent as before. Gu Xianqing said, "If anyone has objections, please speak up." None. No objections. Madam Gu, please continue the meeting. Gu Xianqing shook her head. "In that case, let's proceed to discuss the issue of launching the new product, Bud Blossom." Shareholders in favor of the launch, raise your hands. I agree. Wu Feng was the first to raise his hand. The other shareholders exchanged glances, hesitant. Previously, Zhao Ping was the first to oppose. Now that Zhao Ping was gone, who dared to oppose? Even if all the other shareholders objected, with major shareholder Wu Feng supporting Gu Xianqing, her decisions would still be smoothly implemented. Rather than continue to antagonize Gu Xianqing, it was better to show goodwill. I agree. I also agree, wholeheartedly support this project. I carefully reviewed Ms. Gu's modification plan just now, it's simply flawless. Ms. Gu's new plan is excellent, I was too hasty before. After seeing the new plan, I have decided to unconditionally support all of Ms. Gu's decisions. I have been enchanted by Ms. Gu's charisma, unconditional support. Various flatteries flowed in, revealing the shareholders' true colors. Gu Xianqing sighed inwardly, she hadn't altered the plan at all. She had merely claimed to have made modifications to test these shareholders. The result was disheartening indeed. Gu Xianqing looked at all the shareholders, witnessing something she had never dared to imagine. Every single shareholder had cast their vote in support of her. Chapter 23, The Beautiful Vicedine, 8th Sister. Gu Xianqing rose again, "Thank you all for your support. Today, arrangements for the launch of the new product, Bud Blossom, are in place. The meeting is adjourned." Upon hearing this, the shareholders rose, some hastily leaving, while others approached Gu Xianqing to express their loyalty. After the shareholders dispersed, Gu Xianqing remained in the conference room. Wu Feng stood quietly behind her, faithfully waiting for his sister. Assistant Xiaoya quietly exited the conference room and closed the door. Gu Xianqing stood up and gazed silently at Wu Feng. Wu Feng spoke, "Sis. Sis, you're amazing." Gu Xianqing hugged Wu Feng tightly, squishing him like a big bun. A fragrant breeze wafted by, stirring Wu Feng's heart. "Don't you see who I am? I must be amazing." Woo woo. Gu Xianqing cried tears of joy, tears streaming down her face. Once again Wu Feng pretended to be angry. "Are you crying again?" "I'm just too excited. For the past 6 months, I've been enduring so much frustration every day. Today is the most satisfying." Gu Xianqing sobbed. "If I had come earlier, they would have all been done for." Wu Feng handed her a tissue, gently wiping away the tears from her eyes with tender care. Gu Xianqing puzzled, "I don't understand. You're such a good man, why did the Xiao family treat you like that? You told me when I was young, gold will eventually shine." Wu Feng said. "Then you're my gold." Gu Xianqing smiled. "Of course. In the future, anyone who dares to bully my sis, I'll beat them so hard their mothers won't recognize them," Wu Feng declared. "Ha ha." Gu Xianqing chuckled at Wu Feng's banter. Gu Xianqing asked, "Little brother, how did you do it?" Wu Feng said, "Capture the ringleader first, and the rest will fall in line." Zhao Ping was the troublemaker, the others were just followers. After dealing with Zhao Ping, the others were easy pickings. "Sis loves you." Gu Xianqing hugged Wu Feng's neck, planting a sweet kiss on his cheek. He. Wu Feng grinned foolishly. Gu Xianqing said, "It would be great if I had a man like you by my side." "I'm right here with you," Wu Feng said. "You don't understand." Gu Xianqing blushed, lowering her head slightly. Wu Feng teased, "Sis, are you feeling amorous? You brat, I'll bite you." Gu Xianqing glared, opening her mouth to bite Wu Feng's shoulder. "Ouch, ouch, ouch, I'm sorry, sis." Wu Feng hastily apologized. "You brat." Gu Xianqing looked at Wu Feng with a touch of resentment. "By the way, your eighth sister is back from studying abroad. I want you to go for a health checkup at her place this afternoon." Wu Feng decisively shook his head. "I'm perfectly healthy. I won't go to her place. What if she takes advantage of me?" Gu Xianqing laughed. "Even when joining the company, a routine health checkup is required. You still won't go?" "Nope." Wu Feng's tone was firm. Half an hour later, Wu Feng still went to the Wan family hospital. As soon as he reached the second floor, a masked female doctor grabbed Wu Feng and dragged him into the office. "What's going on?" Wu Feng became vigilant. The female doctor, with a high ponytail and a faint medicinal fragrance emanating from her body, revealed an indescribable allure as she removed her mask. "You brat, you finally came?" The female doctor snorted. "Sis, it's you." Wu Feng breathed a sigh of relief. This beauty was none other than Wu Feng's eighth sister, Wan Xian, the stunning vice dean of the Wan family private hospital. Wan Xian, with a hot figure and a fiery temper, had dared to play with Wu Feng's little brother since they were young. With a stern face, Wan Xian questioned Wu Feng, "It's been several days since your divorce. I asked you to come for a health checkup, why didn't you?" Wu Feng smiled, "I heard you were on a business trip studying abroad. I returned last night." Wan Xian said, "Yeah. I came to see my eighth sister." Wu Feng tried to make excuses. Wan Xian turned around and drew the curtains of the room. "Take off your pants." "Huh?" Wu Feng was baffled by her words. "What do you mean?" "I'm going to examine you," Wan Xian said seriously. "Sis, are you serious?" Wu Feng asked. Wan Xian said solemnly, "What if your ex-wife fooled around and you got infected?" Wu Feng shook his head. "I'm perfectly fine, and you know, I've studied traditional Chinese medicine." Wan Xian was about to proceed, but Wu Feng hugged her suddenly, and the fragrance of medicine filled the air. "Let go of me." Wan Xian was displeased, struggling, but they ended up even closer. Wan Xian stared at him with a pair of seductive eyes. Wu Feng still didn't let go, explaining, "There's no need for the examination. We didn't have intimate relations." "What? You were married for 3 years and didn't sleep together?" Wan Xian was extremely shocked. "That's in the past, let's not dwell on it." Wu Feng waved his hand, maintaining a smile. Wan Xian didn't speak, but she felt her nose tingling. In this world, the person she cared most about was her little brother, Wu Feng. "Sis, are you crying?" Wu Feng asked. "No, the wind is strong and got in my eyes." Wan Xian could conceal her emotions, then said, "Come on, let's go out for a good meal, sis." "That's great." Wu Feng nodded with a smile. Just as the two stepped out of the building, a young man in a suit approached them. Xian, let's have a candlelight dinner tonight?" The man turned around and took out a bunch of flowers from behind. "Zhang Shuhang, I've made it clear that there's no chance between us. Please stop harassing me." Wan Xian glared at the man, grabbing Wu Feng's hand and walking towards the parking lot. Zhang Shuhang didn't give up, but ran ahead to stop Wan Xian again. Xian, I know you don't like me, but as long as you remain single, I have the right to pursue you." Wan Xian didn't say anything, but immediately interlocked her fingers with Wu Feng's hand, holding it up for Zhang Shuhang to see who. "Who is he?" Zhang Shuhang's face changed immediately. Chapter 24, Emergency Rescue, Race Against Time. Wan Xian smiled, deliberately remaining silent. "Boyfriend?" Zhang Shuhang's round face suddenly stretched like a shoehorn. Wan Xian would never casually hold hands with a stranger, unless this man was her boyfriend. Still not saying anything, Wan Xian leaned towards Wu Feng's shoulder, their intimate posture speaking volumes. Wu Feng didn't hold back either, reaching out and giving Wan Xian's perky but a firm pat. "Let's go eat." "Okay." Wan Xian nodded and followed Wu Feng. "Why? Why didn't you choose me?" Zhang Shuhang shouted. Wan Qian stopped in her tracks, turning to look at Zhang Shuhang. Didn't I tell you? I don't like your type. Zhang Shuhang was incredulous, pointing at Wu Feng. What's so good about him? Is he richer and more handsome than me? Can he afford a BMW and a 3-bedroom apartment? Can he make you happy? Wan Qian shook her head. Sorry, he doesn't meet any of those standards, but... But what? Zhang Shuhang pressed. But he's good in bed. Wan Qian finished, leading Wu Feng towards the parking lot. What? Zhang Shuhang let out a hysterical roar, feeling the greatest insult of his life. Good in bed? You've slept. Zhang Shuhang was too angry to continue. He angrily smashed the bouquet of roses on the ground and stormed towards the parking lot. Shouting at Wan Qian, other girls would rather cry in a BMW, why do you insist on riding on his bicycle? Wan Qian was stunned, asking Wu Feng, how did you get here? Wu Feng took out the key to the Land Rover and pressed the remote, causing the car lights to flash in an instant. Zhang Shuhang was dumbfounded, sitting on the ground. The other side was driving a Land Rover Range Rover, a luxury car worth millions. Looking at his own BMW 1 Series key, he couldn't even afford the down payment for their car. He suddenly remembered a saying, it's not that you're not outstanding, it's that you're not driving a Land Rover. Watching Wan Qian leave in the Land Rover, Zhang Shuhang's heart shattered into pieces. The Land Rover sped along the road. Wan Qian, sitting in the passenger seat, was laughing uncontrollably. Ha, that was hilarious. Wu Feng shook his head. Eighth sister, are you really that happy? Of course, that pervert has been bothering me for almost a month, pestering me every day, and he wouldn't leave even if I hit him. Wan Qian said. Wu Feng said, now it's all settled, once and for all. I bet his fragile heart has been shattered by you. Serves him right, he wasn't a good person anyway. Wan Qian shook her head, looking disdainful. Wu Feng sighed, your remark about being good in bed had me confused. Truly worthy of my eighth sister, no taboos. Ha ha. Wan Qian laughed, pinching Wu Feng's arm. What about you, little brat? Are you experienced? Wu Feng hurriedly waved his hand. Let's not talk about that. What do you want to eat tonight? Wan Qian said, when we get home tonight, sis will give you. Ha ha. Wan Qian's words weren't finished when a sharp brake sound rang out. A Nissan sedan had crashed into the guardrail of the overpass. Wu Feng, seeing this, immediately slammed on the brakes. The tremendous inertia caused both of them to be tightly buckled by their seatbelts. The next moment, the car came to a safe stop, with a shock but no harm. Wan Qian patted her chest. That scared me. Wu Feng looked ahead at the road, where several cars were clustered together. I'll go check it out. Wu Feng unbuckled his seatbelt and got out of the car. Many drivers were incessantly honking their horns, and the entire Linjiang road was blocked. At the center of the incident, a group of drivers surrounded the damaged guardrail. Some were calling for help, while others were taking videos with their phones. Hello, is this the traffic police? I want to report an accident on Linjiang Road. A small sedan has pushed a Porsche Cayenne into the river. Wu Feng hurriedly looked towards the riverbank, where he could vaguely see a Porsche Cayenne half floating on the water. On the shore stood many drivers, shaking their heads and sighing. It's over now. If the car sinks, the people inside will definitely suffocate. As soon as the car sinks to the bottom, the windows can't be opened, there's no way to escape. I bet the female driver inside is unconscious, and there's a child too. 2 lives. A female driver couldn't bear it anymore and shouted, you men are just standing here watching, knowing people might die. Hurry up and save them. The drivers were angered by her words, and they retorted one after another. Girl, watch your words. Do you know where this is? This is the moat. Even if it's a person, they'll drown if they fall in. Do you think we don't want to save them? The Cayenne has drifted to the center of the river. Who dares to go and save them? Anyone who can swim would be risking their lives. Not understanding water and jumping into the river to save people, besides losing your life, you'll also complicate the rescue efforts. The female driver was furious. If you won't save them, I will. This sentence stunned the drivers. Then, they saw the female driver throwing her high heels into the car, taking off her coat, and preparing to jump into the river. Just then, a dark figure rushed through the crowd and jumped into the river first. Plunk! The river's surface splashed with water. The female driver was dumbfounded, and so were the male drivers. Despite knowing how dangerous the situation was, someone still sacrificed themselves to save others? Everyone looked towards the river, holding their breath. 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 15 seconds, 30 seconds passed, but there was no sign of anyone resurfacing. What the heck, did this guy sink as soon as he jumped in? Who was the one who jumped in just now? Did anyone see him? I don't know. I don't recognize him. The female driver picked up a discarded suit from the ground and saw the nameplate on it clearly, Hartching Group, Security Team Leader Wu Feng. The female driver spoke up, his name is Wu Feng, he's a hero. The crowd fell silent. If this young man named Wu Feng didn't resurface, he might truly become a martyr and be remembered as a hero. At that moment, the Cayenne had completely sunk to the bottom of the river, without even a splash. There was no sign of Wu Feng, who had jumped into the river to rescue the occupants. Hey, youngster, he's too young after all. A good security team leader doesn't stick to his post and jumps into the river to save people. Now he's gotten himself into trouble. The onlookers sighed, lamenting the fragility of life. The female driver, who had been shouting earlier, also fell silent, tears streaming down her face as she stood by the riverbank. She had only learned to swim at the swimming pool and had just impulsively wanted to jump in to save people. Now that she saw the young man who had jumped into the river not resurface, she truly realized the seriousness of the situation. Who jumped in? Wan Qian separated from the crowd and approached the scene, her eyes filled with confusion. He's called Wu Feng, the female driver spoke up. Ah! Wan Qian let out a tragic scream. She had been looking for Wu Feng everywhere, but she couldn't find him anywhere. Hearing that a driver had jumped into the river and not come back up, she rushed over in a panic. She feared that the person might be her brother, Wu Feng. But Wan Qian didn't expect that the person would really be Wu Feng. Wu Feng. Wan Qian's breakdown only lasted for a moment. Chapter 25, The Salvation of This Girl. Xiao Wanxian flung her mobile phone aside, poised to leap into the river. The female driver swiftly clasped her waist. Do not act recklessly, plunging into the waters would only lead to demise. He's my younger brother, I cannot let him perish. Wanxian bellowed, her voice tinged with tears. Onlookers crowded around, offering a cacophony of persuasion. Young lady, do not despair. The rescue team is on its way, any further leap would only compound the rescue difficulty. Young lady, remain calm, you must remain composed. At that moment, ripples emerged in the river, prompting gasps from the crowd. Look, there's movement in the river. The crowd swiftly gathered at the riverbank. Soon, a woman surfaced, cradling her daughter tightly in her arms. Mother and daughter swiftly approached the bank with remarkable speed. The female driver exclaimed, Wu Feng is alive, he's alive. Wanxian dashed to the riverbank, catching a glimpse of a figure emerging faintly on the surface. It was indeed Wu Feng, pushing the mother and daughter towards the bank. The female driver shouted, Stop the commotion, everyone, lend a hand. The drivers, as if awakening from a dream, hurried back to their vehicles. Some retrieved ropes, others prepared towels. Wanxian promptly returned to her Land Rover, fetching a medical emergency kit. Wu Feng continued propelling the trio forward on the water's surface. Closer and closer they drew to the bank, 30 meters, 25 meters, 20 meters, 15 meters. Keep going. Wanxian roared, Wu Feng, keep going. Then, countless voices erupted into cheers, Go, Wu Feng. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Amidst the multitude's cries, Wu Feng successfully brought the distressed mother and daughter to the shore. Upon reaching the shore, Wu Feng collapsed, gasping for air. After diving into the water, he had swum directly from the surface to the riverbed. The mother did not lack the chance to escape but was trapped by her daughter's safety harness. She would rather drown beneath the waters than abandon her daughter. Fortunately, Wu Feng appeared in time, using his military knife to sever the safety harness. He successfully rescued them, defusing the crisis. Brother, are you all right? Wanxian lay directly on his chest, feeling his vigorous heartbeat. I'm fine. Wu Feng smiled, Why are you crying? Hurry, go help others. Wanxian wiped away her tears and hastily got up. Clear the way, I'm a doctor, leave this to me. Wanxian shouted, and the crowd dispersed. She immediately rushed forward to resuscitate the mother and daughter. Vigorously pounding and compressing the mother's chest, the mother coughed up several mouthfuls of river water. Her consciousness gradually became clear, and she immediately looked towards her daughter beside her, pleading, "Please, save my daughter, save my daughter." Wan Qian took a towel brought by a kind-hearted bystander and draped it over the mother, then turned to attend to the girl. The young girl, around 6 or 7 years old, wore a pink dress and had twin ponytails. Her usually rosy cheeks were now pallid from the river water. Wan Qian checked the girl's breathing, her expression suddenly grave. "How is she?" the brave female driver asked. Wan Qian shook her head. "She's not breathing." The mother immediately knelt on the ground, tears streaming down. "Please, save my children, I beg you." "I'm powerless." Wan Qian shook her head. She wanted to console the mother, but she didn't know what to say. The mother hugged her daughter's lifeless body, screaming frantically. At that moment, the crowd gradually parted. An elderly man in a white coat, with white hair, slowly approached. Gasps emanated from the onlookers. "He's Dr. Zhu Xian, the medical king. Dr. Zhu Xian is here, there's hope." "Who's Zhu Xian? You don't know Zhu Xian? He's the foremost of the 4 divine physicians of Jizhou, unparalleled in medical skills in the northern region. If this girl has any chance of survival, only Dr. Zhu can save her." All eyes turned to Dr. Zhu, and everyone's hopes rested on him. The mother also recognized Dr. Zhu Xian, they had met before. She immediately released her daughter, kneeling down to kowtow to Zhu Xian. "Mr. Zhu Xian, please save my daughter." Zhu Xian quickly helped her up. "Madame Qing, please rise. I happened to pass by here. I will spare no effort to save the girl." "Thank you, thank you, thank you." Qing kowtowed frantically to the ground. Zhu Xian immediately made a brief examination of the little girl's condition. Wan Qian assisted from the side, handing over her stethoscope. Zhu Xian shook his head, no signs of breath. Upon hearing this, everyone's heart sank. Zhu Xian then put on the stethoscope and checked the girl's heartbeat. No heartbeat. Zhu Xian shook his head for the second time, then reached to check her pulse. No pulse either. Zhu Xian shook his head for the third time, and at that moment, everyone's hearts grew cold. Qing screamed, "Please, you must save my daughter, don't give up on her, she won't die. Follow emergency procedures." Zhu Xian instructed Wan Qian beside him. "All right." Wan Qian nodded. The two of them joined forces to perform emergency rescue on the little girl. Pounding her chest, pressing on her chest, inducing vomiting upside down. However, the girl lay motionless. Once, twice, thrice, 8 times. 10 attempts in succession, all ending in failure. "I'm sorry, I did my best. Inform the funeral parlor and make arrangements for the child." Zhu Xian shook his head, sighing. The mother let out a deafening scream. The female driver burst into tears on the spot. Such a good child, gone just like that. Sigh, life is so fragile. Living shouldn't be solely for money. No matter how much money you have, it's useless when someone's gone. Pity the parents of the world, may they find solace in their grief. Qing sobbed in agony. Perhaps there was nothing more sorrowful in this world than a mother losing her child. Just then, Wu Feng, who had recovered his breath, approached step by step. "Perhaps, there's still hope for this child. Let me take a look." Wu Feng immediately crouched down to examine the little girl's condition. The onlookers immediately began to discuss. "Young man, there's no need to try, the person is beyond saving. Even the medical king can't save someone, even if a deity came, they couldn't save her. You've already proven yourself a hero by rescuing the mother and daughter from the river." Wu Feng spoke firmly to Qing. "I can now responsibly say that this girl can still be saved." "Really?" Qing grabbed Wu Feng's hand excitedly, as if clutching at a lifeline. "Every word is true." Wu Feng immediately picked up his knife. "Stop, what are you going to do?" Zhu Xian stepped forward, trying to stop Wu Feng. Chapter 26, The Medical King kneels in submission, shocking the entire audience. Wu Feng spoke, "I must now administer acupuncture to this young girl. It is imperative to incise her garments to locate the precise acupoints." Zhu Xian inquired, "Who are you?" Wan Qian hastily interjected, "Dr. Zhu, he is my brother, Wu Feng. He learned traditional Chinese medicine from our father during his childhood." "Traditional Chinese medicine?" Zhu Xian scoffed coldly. In this world, there are only two kinds of traditional Chinese medicine practitioners: charlatans without even the faintest qualification, and the rare virtuosos of medicine who have surpassed the age of 50. Wu Feng declared, "I am neither a virtuoso nor do I possess any medical certification, but I assure you, I am no charlatan." Zhu Xian retorted, "Indeed, you are not a charlatan, for you are a deviant." Upon hearing this remark, the onlookers gasped in astonishment. I always suspected there was something amiss with this young man. A person beyond the reach of the medical king, how could he possibly save anyone? Don't even mention it. Seeing a young girl on the brink of death, he's probably harboring indecent intentions towards her corpse. Outrageous, isn't it? No wonder he's so fervent about saving lives. Wan Qian shook her head frantically. No, no, no. My brother is not that kind of person, please believe in him, he is definitely not that kind of person. Ignoring these disparaging remarks, Wu Feng locked eyes with Qing. Do you believe in me? I. Qing's inner turmoil raged fiercely. Amidst the dichotomy of life and death, countless thoughts lingered in her mind. Zhu Xian spoke up, Ms. Qing, the police will be here shortly. It's best to hand this individual over to the authorities now. Qing shook her head. No, I believe in him. If he could jump into the river to save me, then he surely can rescue my daughter too. Thank you, Wu Feng nodded, feeling a sense of contentment wash over him. Cheng spoke again. Please, save my daughter immediately. And I implore everyone present not to obstruct, regardless of what he does to my daughter. The crowd fell silent. The mothers of the involved parties all consented, and no one dared to say anything further. The medical king, Zhu Xian, also turned away in silence, sighing incessantly. Keep going, I believe in you. The female driver clenched her fists tightly, showing support for Wu Feng. Wan Qian stepped forward, grabbing Wu Feng's arm, and whispered, Brother, are you truly confident in saving this girl? Wu Feng nodded, I am confident. Wan Qian added, Dad taught you those medical skills many years ago. Wu Feng replied, he has been giving me some guidance recently. Very well, Wan Qian breathed a sigh of relief upon hearing this. Elder sister, fetch the silver needle kit from the car. Okay. Wan Qian nodded and quickly departed. Wu Feng raised his head and addressed the crowd. I ask all male spectators present to kindly step aside. The men all turned their heads and looked towards the riverbank. Wu Feng promptly used a knife to cut open the young girl's dress, meticulously identifying 9 acupoints using the CUN measurement method. Once Wan Qian brought the silver needles, Wu Feng swiftly inserted all 9 needles using the acupuncture technique from the ancient text, 9 dark needles scripture, renowned for reviving the dead rather than treating the living. What more do you need from me? Wan Qian asked. No further assistance is required, Wu Feng replied. So soon? Wan Qian exclaimed in astonishment. Excitement flickered in Qing's eyes. Zhu Xian slowly turned his head back, joining the crowd in eager anticipation. A few minutes later, Wu Feng struck the young girl's chest with his palm. Spurt! The young girl expelled water from her mouth, then, her fingers twitched slightly. Subsequently, the young girl slowly opened her eyes, her pale face beginning to regain color. Little Leaf! Qing cried out her daughter's name, rushing forward to embrace her, tears streaming down her face. The crowd erupted in explosive cheers. Incredible, absolutely incredible, truly miraculous. Oh my goodness. This is so frightening, bringing back the dead. The medical king couldn't save them, yet he managed to revive her? This young man is a divine physician, indeed. The female driver shouted, to those who doubted Wu Feng just now, shouldn't you be feeling ashamed? Shouldn't you apologize? The earlier skeptics, who had maliciously speculated about Wu Feng, promptly began to apologize. Meanwhile, the medical king, Zhu Xian, stood there blankly, showing no signs of embarrassment or remorse. His gaze remained fixed on the 9 acupoints on the young girl's body, his mind buzzing. Excitedly, Zhu Xian squatted down, grabbing Wu Feng's wrist. Just now, you. Ignoring him, Wu Feng calmly removed the silver needles from Little Leaf's body. Shortly after, the emergency medical team arrived, swiftly taking Chang and her daughter onto the ambulance. Traffic police on motorcycles began to disperse the crowd. Zhu Xian held onto Wu Feng's arm tightly. What technique did you use? Wu Feng paid him no mind and walked away with the needle kit in hand. Zhu Xian hurriedly caught up from behind. Young man, did you just use the 9 needle technique? Outsiders might not discern the intricacies of those few needles. But Zhu Xian could see it clearly. It was indeed the technique recorded in the lost masterpiece, the classic of 9 needles, a masterpiece lost for 100 years. Wu Feng shook his head. I am just a deviant, I know nothing of any classic of 9 needles. Zhu Xian could tell that the other party must be proficient in this technique. He immediately knelt on the ground. Mr. Wu, I sincerely apologize to you. I was impolite earlier. I beg for your forgiveness and ask you to overlook my transgressions. Bang! 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 Zhu Xian knocked his head on the ground recklessly. Wu Feng remained indifferent, not even glancing at him. Elder, I know I was wrong. It was my oversight. I hope you can forgive me. Zhu Xian continued to apologize while knocking his head split open and blood flowing freely. Zhu Xian, the hand of the 4 divine physicians of Jizhou, the successor of the Zhu medical clan. The Zhu clan had been searching for the heir of the classic of 9 needles for 100 years. This was the mission of the Zhu clan, and it was also the purpose of Zhu Xian's existence. I have no interest in engaging with you. Wu Feng got into his car, floored the accelerator, and drove off. Watching Wu Feng disappear into the distance, Zhu Xian quickly called his father. Father, I won't be returning to Yecheng for the time being. His father asked, why? Zhu Xian replied, today, I witnessed a young man employing the classic of 9 needles. What? Zhu Xian's father on the other end of the line became excited. Zhu Xian continued, it's true, I want to stay in Xincheng and find this young man. Zhu Xian's father's voice trembled, find him. The entire Zhu clan will spare no effort or expense to find this person. Zhu Xian said, Father, if possible, I want to apprentice under him. Zhu Xian's father roared angrily, nonsense. If anyone is to apprentice, it will be me, not you. Chapter 27, Wu Feng's Young Admirer. Yes, yes, yes. Zhu Xian nodded repeatedly, trembling all over in fright. Zhu father said, furthermore, you'll be staying temporarily at the Wang residence in Qin City. I have old ties with the elder of the Wang family. If there's an opportunity for assistance, do not hesitate. Zhu Xian nodded, I understand, but I have a question, father. Zhu father replied, speak. Zhu Xian hesitated, if the interests of the Wang family involve that young man? Zhu father scolded, foolish child, do you even need to ask me? In front of the heir of the 9 Needle Sutra, everything is insignificant. Anyone who dares to mistreat him is an enemy of our Zhu family. Zhu Xian nodded repeatedly, understood, I understand. Thank you, father. The call ended, Zhu Xian wiped away a cold sweat. Half an hour later, a Mercedes drove onto Linjiang Road. It was none other than the scion of the Wang family, Wang Buxi's vehicle. Oh, my esteemed divine healer Zhu, upon hearing of your arrival in Qin City, I rushed over immediately. Wang Buxi exclaimed excitedly, grasping Zhu Xian's hand with a beaming face. This individual was from the Wang family, one of the 4 major clans in Qin City. After the passing of the elder of the Wang family, the 3 sons divided the family's assets among themselves. Wang Buxi used his share of the money to establish a pharmaceutical company competing with the HeartClear Group. He shamelessly imitated the products of the HeartClear Group. While the company's research and development costs were minimal, the marketing expenses were substantial. This was the secret behind the rise of the Buxi Group. He also colluded with the director of the HeartClear Group, Zhao Delong, who happened to be Zhao Ping's father, to steal the formula for the HeartClear Group's new product, halting the launch of the HeartClear Group's new product, while creating a replica of it for themselves. However, what Wang Buxi didn't expect was that before the imitation product was completed, Zhao Delong's son, Zhao Wen, ended up in prison. Moreover, the HeartClear Group was preparing to release a new product, Bud. This posed a disastrous challenge for him. He had to find a way to preemptively launch the new product and gain market recognition first. Upon learning that Zhu Xian, one of the 4 divine healers of Jizhou, had arrived in Qin City, Wang Buxi had an idea. As long as Zhu Xian supported the Buxi Group, the HeartClear Group would undoubtedly be finished. Ha ha ha. Zhu Xian laughed heartily, no need for courtesy, our 2 families have been close for generations. Quickly, please get in the car, let me host you properly. Wang Buxi pulled Zhu Xian into the car, heading straight to the Grand Hotel. Exotic delicacies, fine wine, and sumptuous food were all prepared. Wang Buxi also invited many beautiful women to accompany them. Thank you very much for your hospitality, Zhu Xian courteously expressed. You're welcome, Wang Busi smiled. Recently, our Busi group is preparing to launch a new product. I wonder if the esteemed divine healer would support us. Ha ha ha. Zhu Xian laughed heartily. Please. Wang Busi raised his glass, continuing to be attentive. Meanwhile, when Wu Feng returned home that evening, Wan Qian forcibly pushed him into the bathroom. Wan Qian said, "You've been soaking in the water for so long, quickly take a hot bath, sister will make you a cup of ginger and brown sugar water." I understand. Wu Feng closed the bathroom door and undressed. In the mirror, his bronze skin glistened, muscles well defined. There was even a vivid red dragon coiled around his chest. Speaking of this red dragon, it harkened back to a battle 6 years ago in the temple. Leading his team deep into enemy territory, Wu Feng annihilated the enemy's leader. During the retreat, they were unexpectedly subjected to a barrage of bombings, resulting in Wu Feng's entire chest being burned. So, he had the red dragon tattooed on his chest. Since then, Wu Feng had become one of the 10 lords, commanding the underworld. The red dragon tattoo was the best medal of honor from his battle of apotheosis. In the blink of an eye, 6 years had passed. But that moment felt like yesterday. After the bath, Wu Feng wrapped himself in a towel and walked out of the bathroom, startling his 2 sisters. Su Xianyan exclaimed, "Wow, little brother, your tattoo is so cool." Wan Qian curiously reached out and touched Wu Feng's chest muscles. "Wow, they're so hard?" Wu Feng looked embarrassed. "Is this the first time you've seen me dressed like this?" Su Xianyan blushed and said, "It's the first time I've seen you wearing so little." Wan Qian also said, "It's the first time I've noticed how handsome my little brother is." Wu Feng said, "I'm hungry, let's cook something." Wan Qian said, "Should I cook downstairs for you?" "Okay." Wu Feng nodded. Wan Qian and Su Xianyan went to the kitchen to busy themselves. The 2 sisters discussed Wu Feng's chest muscles and tattoo throughout, even comparing him to Wu Yanzu and Eddie Pang. Wu Feng felt very embarrassed, getting goosebumps. After changing clothes, Wu Feng leaned back on the sofa and opened his phone. He immediately received a WeChat friend request. "Hello, little brother, I'm the female driver from tonight." It must have been Wan Qian's doing, but Wu Feng couldn't be bothered to investigate. He directly clicked to accept and took a look at the other party's profile. The other party's moments were filled with attractive photos, showing off abs in the gym, doing handstands on parallel bars in the park. There were also some daily life photos, both figure and appearance were excellent. Ding dong. The other party immediately sent a message. "Hello, I'm Tian Xiaoya, 26 years old this year, 169 centimeters tall, 58 kilograms, working as a flight attendant, monthly income is 9K. Unconsciously, Wu Feng ended up chatting with this beautiful girl until late at night. The girl's conditions in all aspects were good, and she was also very pretty. Through chatting, it was evident that despite her mature appearance, she still harbored the fantasies of a romantic young girl in her heart. At this moment, Wu Feng realized something was amiss. Was this just making friends? Why did it feel like she was flirting with him? As if on cue, Tian Xiaoya sent a voice message. "Little brother, would you like to have dinner together tomorrow? I know a Sichuan restaurant that's amazing." Wu Feng hastily replied, "Sorry, I have work tomorrow, maybe some other time." Tian Xiaoya immediately responded, "Okay, then let's make plans for the weekend." Sad face emoji. "Okay." Wu Feng replied with a single word, deleting the chat history. Ding dong. Big sister Gu Xian sent a voice message. "Little brother, dress nicely tomorrow, sister will take you to a party in the evening." "Okay, got it." After replying to the message, Wu Feng went to sleep. Chapter 28, Gu Xian's Tears. The next evening, Wu Feng and Gu Xian drove to the Qin City International Hotel. Tonight, there was a business cocktail party held on the top floor of the hotel. Most of the attendees were CEOs from the pharmaceutical industry in Qin City. As a strong woman in the pharmaceutical industry, Gu Xian naturally had to attend this gathering. Upon entering, Gu Xian saw Wang Busi, sporting a bald head and golden-rimmed glasses. "Oh, my dear Xian, you're here again, looking even more beautiful tonight, which makes me love you even more." "Please mind your words, Mr. Wang. We are merely acquaintances." Gu Xian smiled faintly and then tightly held Wu Feng's hand. The small gesture immediately caught Wang Busi's attention, and his smiling face suddenly turned sour. Despite their fierce competition, Wang Busi had fallen for Gu Xian. He fantasized about winning Gu Xian one day, with the Heart Clear group as the pretext for marriage. At this moment, seeing a strange man holding Gu Xian's hand, Wang Busi felt uneasy. Who is this? Wang Busi's gaze fell on Wu Feng. Gu Xian casually said, he is my boyfriend and also the largest shareholder of our Heart Clear group. His name is Wu Feng. Wu Feng? Wang Busi frowned, his eyes narrowing. Yes, that's me. Wu Feng nodded. Wang Busi stared at Gu Xian and asked, Sister Xian, how long have you known him? How much do you know about him? Is it any of your business? Gu Xian retorted. Wang Busi said, I care about you. I'm afraid you might be deceived. Thank you, but my personal affairs are my own business. Gu Xian said, then she grabbed Wu Feng's hand and walked into the venue. Stop. Suddenly, Wang Busi shouted at the two. Gu Xian and Wu Feng turned around. Wang Busi pointed at Wu Feng and shouted, I've investigated Wu Feng, he's not even a second generation rich. Gu Xian, don't think you've climbed up the ladder. You're being deceived. Not only is he not a second generation rich, but he's also the son-in-law of the Shao family who just got divorced. As soon as these words were spoken, the eyes of everyone in the venue focused on them. What's going on? Why are they arguing? I heard Gu Xian got a boyfriend, looks like Wang Busi is jealous. But according to Wang Busi, it seems like Gu Xian's boyfriend is a scammer. Gu Xian smiled, I know all of this already. He got divorced for me, so what? You. Have you lost your mind? Wang Busi exploded. He had been infatuated with Gu Xian for over a decade. Every once in a while, he would threaten Gu Xian, saying that if she married him, she wouldn't have to work so hard. But Gu Xian refused to yield, insisting on competing with him to the end. In Wang Busi's eyes, Gu Xian was an unattainable iceberg. He never expected that Gu Xian would wholeheartedly be with a second married poor guy. Wang Busi felt that he had suffered the greatest insult in history. Unable to bear it any longer, Wu Feng stepped forward and said, disgusted by me? Are you qualified? There are plenty of lackeys around her, are you worthy of being one? Wang Busi was furious, who are you calling a lackey? Sorry. Wu Feng shook his head, what I meant was, you don't even qualify to be a lackey. Ha ha ha. Several women present burst into laughter. Wang Busi stepped forward, pointing at Wu Feng's nose, kid, dare you insult me? Do you even know who I am? Are you looking for death? Tired of living? With just one phone call from me, I'll ruin you and your family. Wu Feng never liked arguing, and he especially hated people pointing fingers at him. So, he directly bent the other party's fingers. Ah! Wang Busi screamed in pain, cold sweat beading on his forehead, the intense pain forcing him to kneel on the ground. Kid, come at me if you dare, see if Grandpa is afraid of you. After saying that, Wu Feng kicked Wang Busi to the side. Gu Xian leaned tightly against Wu Feng's side, feeling an indescribable warmth in her heart. Perhaps this was the sense of security that only a man could bring her. Gu Xian tiptoed and whispered in Wu Feng's ear with a mosquito-like voice, little brother, you're so handsome. No big deal. Wu Feng smiled. On the ground, Wang Busi, clutching his painful fingers, said fiercely, Gu Xian, are you really going to be with this waste? Wu Feng laughed, speaking of waste, that would be you, Wang Busi. Wang Busi shouted, what nonsense are you spouting? Wu Feng sneered, you carry Viagra in your pocket, you're already bald before 40. You're not just weak, your kidneys are practically worn out. Ha ha ha. The whole room erupted in laughter. Wang Busi stood up, I'm perfectly fine, don't talk nonsense. I'm about to announce some big news, I guarantee that the Heart Clear Group will go bankrupt in the future. Other CEOs watching began to be curious. What news? Mr. Wang, what news are you talking about? With a cold snort, Wang Busi turned to the crowd and announced loudly, ladies and gentlemen, the major news I am about to announce is that Zhu Xian, the first of the 4 divine healers of Jizhou, will officially stay in Qin City and join the Busi Pharmaceutical Group for deep cooperation. Wow! The whole room was shocked by this announcement. The status of Zhu Xian in the pharmaceutical industry was akin to that of a deity, not to mention his influential Zhu family. Even just having a cup of tea with Zhu Xian would cause a sensation in the industry. And for Zhu Xian to join the Busi Group meant that other pharmaceutical companies would face difficulties. The most affected would be the direct competitor of the Busi Group, the HeartClear Group. At this moment, Gu Xian fell silent, her mind heavy with thoughts. As Wang Busi stepped down from the stage, he was surrounded by the other CEOs. Mr. Wang, I toast to you. Mr. Wang, you're destined to be the top tycoon of the pharmaceutical industry in Qin City. Gu Xian missed out on Mr. Wang, such a pity. All sorts of flattering eyes were directed at him. Wang Busi grinned widely, becoming the most dazzling star in the room. In contrast, Gu Xian seemed to have lost her radiance entirely. Everyone deliberately kept their distance from her. Even those who were once her business partners and friends in the commercial world were now fawning over Wang Busi. Chapter 29, Zhao Delong wins over senior executives of the company. Dear Chang, are you alright? Wu Feng noticed her change in mood and promptly inquired. I'm fine, Gu Xinqing shook her head. It's just a momentary setback, Wu Feng remarked. We should leave, there's no need to stay here any longer, Gu Xinqing said, as they were about to turn away. But as they were about to depart, Wang Busi immediately approached with a group of people. Ms. Gu, leaving without a word? Is that your plan? Wang Busi's smile was ambiguous. Gu Xinqing remained silent. Ha ha ha. Wang Busi burst into laughter. Gu Xinqing, everything today is of your own making. Other executives chimed in with their sarcastic remarks. Ms. Gu, wisdom lies in recognizing the current situation. One's kindness towards you is evident to everyone. Why resist it? A woman executive, looking seductive, interjected, If I were you, Gu Xinqing, I would surely throw myself into Mr. Wang's arms without hesitation. Gu Xinqing turned her head towards the woman, retorting, Apologies, I'm not as cheap as you. Enraged, the woman executive stomped her foot, Gu Xinqing, don't push it too far. There will be a time when you regret it. Thank you for the reminder. I'm well aware. Goodbye. Gu Xinqing said coldly. Wang Busi yelled, Ms. Gu, don't leave. Mr. Yixing will be here soon. Not interested. Gu Xinqing decisively shook her head. Wang Busi smirked, That's all right. Tomorrow, I'll bring Mr. Yixing to visit your esteemed company. Think carefully whether you want to be with this loser or with me. You're dreaming. Gu Xinqing walked away without looking back, pulling Wu Feng along. As they descended in the elevator and got into the car, Gu Xinqing bit her lip, Take me home, please. Wu Feng started the car and left the Qin City Grand Hotel. The car moved through the streets, illuminated by the colorful lights of the night. Xing, you don't need to worry so much, Wu Feng spoke up. Gu Xinqing shook her head, You don't understand this industry. Yixing joining the Busi Group means a disruption to the entire pharmaceutical sector. Such influence from Yixing? Wu Feng inquired. Yes, Gu Xinqing nodded. Wu Feng suggested, Then let him and his family's influence join the Xinqing Group. Gu Xinqing chuckled, Silly brother, it's not as easy as you think. Wang Busi has been cultivating connections in Yecheng for many years, it's only natural he would seize this opportunity with Yixing, she explained. In contrast, I'm just a fool, never considering such matters, she lamented. Wu Feng said, Nothing is impossible for those with determination. Alright, I know you're trying to console me. I won't compromise easily, Gu Xinqing affirmed. Xing, I'm not just consoling you, Wu Feng asserted firmly. Are you serious? Gu Xinqing turned to look at Wu Feng. Yes, Wu Feng nodded. With just a word from me, Yixing will voluntarily join the Xinqing Group. Gu Xinqing rolled her eyes, glaring at Wu Feng. Just now, that statement seemed somewhat plausible. But Wu Feng claiming that a word from him could make Yixing join them? That was a stretch. The car pulled into Gu Xinqing's villa. Wu Feng escorted her upstairs. Gu Xinqing took off her coat, kicked off her heels, and slumped onto the sofa. Her emotions were inexplicably low. Little brother, could you massage my shoulders? She asked. Wu Feng nodded, approached the sofa, and gently kneaded her shoulders with his hands. Xing, your spine seems a bit misaligned, Wu Feng remarked. Every day is the same routine, too busy, Gu Xinqing sighed. Wu Feng suggested, find some time to exercise. Alright, got it, Gu Xinqing nodded. Wu Feng continued massaging her shoulders and lightly patted her back. Unconsciously, Gu Xinqing fell asleep on the sofa. Wu Feng gently nudged her shoulder, Sheng. Gu Xinqing emitted a soft snore. Carefully, Wu Feng cradled her in his arms and carried her to the bedroom. He helped her out of her stockings and tucked her into bed. Xing, have a good rest. Everything will be better tomorrow, Wu Feng whispered. He switched off the light and quietly left the room. The next morning, Gu Xinqing woke up with sleepy eyes. She stretched lazily, got out of bed, freshened up, changed clothes, and applied makeup. After breakfast, she drove to work. As she entered the company, her assistant Xiaoya hurriedly approached Qing. Something's wrong, she exclaimed. What happened? Gu Xinqing entered her office. Xiaoya said, Mr. Zhao came to the company early today. Isn't he supposed to be hospitalized? Gu Xinqing frowned. Xiaoya shook her head. He looks very energetic today, and he summoned many senior executives to the conference room. A meeting early in the morning? Gu Xinqing furrowed her brows. I eavesdropped outside and heard something about Mr. Yixing joining the Busi group, and Mr. Zhao wants everyone to defect together. Xiaoya reported. Clap. Gu Xinqing slammed her bag on the desk. Mr. Zhao is here early in the morning to turn the company upside down, she exclaimed. Xiaoya nodded, seems like it. Gu Xinqing stormed out of the office, heading straight to the conference room. Xiaoya followed closely behind. In the conference room, Zhao Delong sat in the chairman's seat, surrounded by the core leadership of the group. I've made the situation clear. Yixing's joining of the Busi group is certain, and there won't be any issues. Zhao Delong declared. In the future, the entire industry will undergo a revolutionary development, and the Xinqing group will be the first to collapse. All of you present here are the backbone of the Xinqing group. Do you intend to sit here and wait for death? Department heads were present, exchanging glances and murmuring to each other. Suddenly, someone asked, Mr. Zhao, you said the Xinqing group would collapse, but aren't you a director of the company? This remark woke everyone up. If the company collapsed, the first to flee should be Zhao Delong himself. Ha ha ha. Zhao Delong laughed. You're right. As a shareholder, my loss will be the greatest. However, I've already sold my shares at the market's lowest price to investors yesterday. Now, my position is as a director of the Busi group. As his words sank in, the room fell silent. It wasn't surprising that Zhao Delong was so attentive. He now represented the rival Busi group. I'll make it clear here. Those willing to defect today can resign. Tomorrow, I'll take you to join the Busi group. Zhao Delong declared. Someone asked, Mr. Wang, can we trust your words? Zhao Delong responded, a gentleman's word is as weighty as Mount Tai. For those who doubt me, we can record it on the spot. This statement acted as a catalyst. Immediately, someone stood up and declared, I resign. I'm willing to join the Busi group. I'm willing to follow Mr. Wang's footsteps and join the new company. Mr. Wang, I'm your old subordinate. At the Busi group, please mentor me more. Chapter 30, Wang Busi's bold move. Within the Heartclear group, there were already two factions, with one part being loyal to the Zhao family and the other part supporting Gu Xinqing. The remaining few were neutral. At this moment, most of those who took the initiative were from the Zhao faction. The neutral and Gu Xinqing supporters remained silent. This was not the result Zhao Delong wanted. He aimed to short-sell the entire group, bringing the Heartclear group to a halt. Zhao Delong spoke again, I know that these things may seem like a fantasy to many of you, and many still maintain a skeptical attitude. Director Zhou Yang stood up. He had always been Gu Xinqing's right-hand man, the true backbone of the company. Mr. Zhao, the Heartclear group is the result of everyone's efforts over the years. Selling your shares is one thing, but why do you want everyone to betray President Gu? By doing this, are you being fair to President Gu? Are you being fair to the company? Zhao Delong laughed. Zhou Yang, are you out of your mind? Do you think no one knows why you stayed in the company? Zhou Yang frowned. What do you mean? Zhao Delong said, you're nothing but a lapdog by Gu Xinqing's side, dreaming of winning her over, but you'll only ever be a dog your whole life. You. Zhou Yang's face turned livid. What about me? Zhao Delong continued, I'm doing this for your own good. Gu Xinqing has long been keeping a gigolo. You don't even have the qualification to lick the soles of her shoes. Zhou Yang retorted angrily, I don't deny that I admire President Gu, but I won't betray the company just because of your words. Zhao Delong sneered, you won't cry until you see the coffin, huh? Zhou Yang said, President Gu will be arriving at the company soon. You, an outsider, are here trying to subvert the company's employees. When she arrives. Zhao Delong roared, so what if she arrives? What difference does it make? There's nothing anyone can do to stop what I'm going to do. Creak. The door of the conference room was pushed open. Click, click. The sound of high heels tapping on the floor echoed. Gu Xinqing entered the room with Xiaoya. President Gu. President Gu, you're here. President Gu. Various department heads greeted her. Zhao Delong laughed, President Gu's arrival is perfect. Let's make everything clear. Gu Xinqing scanned the room and then spoke, I've heard all your discussions. Those who want to resign, I won't stop you. Those who want to stay, I, Gu Xinqing, won't treat you unfairly. President Gu, I choose to resign. I have my own family to consider. I've been wanting to leave this place and today is the perfect time to bid farewell. More than a dozen leaders stood by Zhao Delong's side. I won't resign. I'm willing to stay and fight for the company's survival. Zhou Yan was the first to speak up. I also choose to stay. Without President Gu, I wouldn't be where I am today. I choose to stay. As long as the company doesn't go bankrupt, I will continue to work here. 7 or 8 company executives stood behind Gu Xinqing. However, more people remained silent or neutral, waiting for bigger opportunities. Zhao Delong spoke again, by the way, I have another announcement to make. Later, Wang Busi will bring Dr. Wang to visit the company. Those who don't believe in this matter and still think the company has hope, come and see for yourselves. Upon hearing this, several more people chose to resign. Gu Xinqing asked, anyone else want to resign? No one answered, and the room fell silent. Gu Xinqing continued, Xiaoya, bring the resignation contracts. Let everyone leave as they wish. Yes. Xiaoya nodded. No need, I've brought them. Wu Feng walked into the conference room with a stack of folders. Snap. The thick stack of resignation contracts was thrown onto the meeting table. People around Zhao Delong began signing the contracts on the spot. Zhao Delong laughed, pointing at Wu Feng, young man, you've done well. Are you interested in joining the Busi group together with me? Not interested. Wu Feng shook his head. Zhao Delong continued, I recommend you as the security manager, and your salary will double. Wu Feng smiled, Mr. Zhao, don't you want to know who I am? Who are you? Zhao Delong asked, my name is Wu Feng, the one who sent your son to prison with my own hands. You. Zhao Delong's face changed instantly, nearly causing a stroke from anger. Wu Feng continued, do you think I'm helping you? I'm helping the company get rid of the worms. Well done. Gu Xinqing praised. Wu Feng addressed everyone, the world will still turn without anyone. Those who want to leave, leave early. Those who want to stay, feel free to stay. The company has weathered many storms over the years, and this won't be the end of it. I believe that in the future, President Gu will lead the Heart Clear group to defeat the Busi group. Gu Xinqing applauded immediately, well said. Several others who supported Gu Xinqing also applauded. Zhao Delong snorted, indeed, just a lapdog by President Gu's side, even someone like you can spout motivational crap. Gu Xinqing added, I won't give up on the company, nor will I destroy my own dreams. Those who believe in me can stay. Even if you resign later, I won't stop you. Zhao Delong laughed, enough of this. Wang Busi and Dr. Wang are already here at the company. Right and wrong will be revealed soon. As Zhao Delong's words fell, the sound of Wang Busi and Dr. Wang's conversation could be heard in the corridor outside the meeting room. Dr. Zhu, the restroom is right ahead. Please go first, I'll go meet that Gu Xinqing. Alright, thank you. Following that, Wang Busi walked arrogantly into the meeting room. Ha ha ha. Wang Busi laughed loudly. Mr. Wang, please, have a seat. Zhao Delong stepped forward to offer hospitality, directly giving up the chairman's seat to him. Thank you. Wang Busi nodded and took a seat. The atmosphere in the conference room changed, and many people whispered to each other. Wang Busi asked, "Delong, how's the situation?" Zhao Delong said, "There are still some stubborn people in the company, which is quite troublesome." Wang Busi spoke, "Everyone, I can tell you clearly." Zhou Yang stood up, "Shut up. This is the meeting room of our Heart Clear group. What qualifications do you have to speak here?" "Who is this?" Wang Busi pointed at Zhou Yang and asked. Zhao Delong said, "He's just an old lapdog by Gu Xinqing's side." Wang Busi nodded with a smile, small-minded indeed. Gu Xinqing smiled and said, "Guests are guests. Mr. Wang, feel free to speak." Wang Busi said, Look at President Gu's magnanimity and tolerance, truly admirable." Wu Feng spoke up, "Just say what you have to say, don't beat around the bush. Say it and leave." Wang Busi laughed, "I'm here to give everyone, including President Gu, an opportunity." Gu Xinqing chuckled, "Even I have an opportunity?" "Of course." Wang Busi nodded. "I, Wang Busi, am straightforward. As long as you, Gu Xinqing, are willing to accompany me tonight, I'm willing to take over your garbage group. But let's be clear up front, you have to satisfy me. In addition, your company's market valuation is approximately 300 million, but I'm only offering 30 million. How about it, President Gu?" Chapter 31, Defiance and Loyalty. Wang Bus learns to crawl like a dog. "You are shameless!" Gu Xinqing roared, her face turning a grim iron hue. "Ha ha ha!" Wang Bus burst into laughter. "Gu Xinqing, you forced me into this. If you don't agree today, it'll be 20 million tomorrow, a mere 10 million the day after, until Xinqing Group collapses." Gu Xinqing remained resolute, "You're dreaming. Even if the group collapses, I won't hand it over to scum like you." Wang Bus nodded, then addressed the crowd. "You all know Dr. Wang Juxian, right? Just went to the restroom for a moment, he'll be here soon. You'll all see the strength of our company. Those who wish to change allegiance, stand behind Zhao Delong. I'll double your salary." This statement was like a heavy bombshell. Many undecided individuals swayed towards Zhao Delong. The resigning faction now outnumbered the staying faction 2-1. Only 5 or 6 remained undecided. Wang Bus spoke up, "What are you hesitating for, gentlemen? Don't you want to work alongside the esteemed Dr. Wang? Even if you learn just a fraction, it's still a gain." Upon hearing this, some were indeed swayed. Dr. Wang Juxian's position in the pharmaceutical industry was unshakable. Many regarded Juxian as their idol. "Come on!" Wang Bus exclaimed, "What Gu Xinqing offers, I, Wang Bus, will double it for you." As expected, these 5 or 6 individuals swiftly stood behind Zhao Delong. The upper echelon of Xinqing Group numbered only 30-something individuals. Yet now, nearly 20 people chose to resign and join the Bus Group. Wise birds choose their roost, those who discern the times are the wise. Wang Bus rose, applauding. Wu Feng spoke up, "Just a bunch of fools being manipulated." "What did you say?" Wang Bus's expression changed. "I said, Dr. Wang Juxian will never join the Bus Group." "Ha ha ha!" Wang Bus burst into laughter. Zhao Delong chimed in, "Ridiculous, simply ridiculous. You know what Dr. Wang was doing with me last night? We talked all night, our bond is unbreakable." Just then, Dr. Wang Juxian, clad in a white coat, strolled into the meeting room. "What's all this chatter about? Why's it so lively?" Juxian chuckled. In an instant, everyone in the room widened their eyes, staring intently at Juxian. Previously, they had only seen him on TV or in magazines. Today, witnessing the living person filled them with excitement. Several women directly approached him, flattering. "Dr. Wang, I'm your fan. Master Doctor, can I take a photo with you? Could you give me an autograph?" Some sighed, some rejoiced. Without exception, everyone understood that Juxian joining the Bus Group was a done deal. Even Gu Xinqing herself felt despondent, bowing her head in silence. Wang Bus hastily stood up, "Master Doctor, someone just said you won't join our group." "Was that a joke? Who said that?" Juxian smiled, scanning the room. Wang Bus pointed at Wu Feng and spoke, "It was him, Gu Xinqing's lackey, a second marriage son-in-law." Juxian gazed at Wu Feng, and in that moment, Wu Feng trembled violently. "What are you staring at? Don't recognize me?" Wu Feng spoke. Wu sir, I bow to you in respect. Zhu Xian knelt down on the spot. Oh my! Xiaoya, standing beside Gu Xinqing, covered her mouth in astonishment. Gu Xinqing, who had been utterly desolate, suddenly widened her eyes, unable to believe what she was seeing. The entire room was dumbfounded. The foremost physician in Jizhou, Dr. Wang Zhuxian, scion of a prestigious medical family. Actually kneeling to a security guard? At this moment, Wu Feng spoke slowly. Stop the fuss. I belong to Xinqing Group, you belong to Bus Group. We're enemies. Zhuxian shook his head frantically. No, Mr. Wu, please let me explain. I stayed in Xinqing just to trace your whereabouts. I had no idea you were at Xinqing Group. I would never aid in wrongdoing. I now declare, I will never collaborate with the Bus Group and humbly request to join Xinqing Group. These words directly stunned Wang Bus. Master Doctor, you agreed to join our Bus Group. Wang Bus turned his head, glaring fiercely at Zhuxian. Get out, Xinqing Group's enemies will now be Zhuxian's enemies. Wang Bus couldn't believe his ears. Are you crazy? Wu Feng is just a son-in-law, a useless man. What are you calling him? Fool, daring to insult Mr. Wu, die. Zhuxian rose, landing a slap squarely on Wang Bus's face. Ouch! Wang Bus cried out, his cheek instantly swelling. You old lunatic, you. Wu Feng chuckled. As I said, Dr. Wang won't join your Bus Group. Wang Bus pointed at the crowd. You. Wu Feng pointed to the door. Just leave. Don't embarrass yourself here. I don't even want to bother teaching you a lesson, afraid of dirtying my hands. Wang Bus jumped up, yelling, I refuse to accept this. Why? Zhuxian's betrayal made him begin to doubt life. He, Wang Bus, clearly had the upper hand, but in the end, it turned into a dream? How could the proud Wang Bus possibly accept this? Smack! 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 Zhuxian rushed forward, delivering 3 resounding slaps to Wang Bus's face. Zhuxian bellowed, Dare to defy Mr. Wu? Are you worthy? I. Wang Bus trembled all over. In Xinqiang, he could swagger. But in front of Zhuxian, he didn't even dare to let out a fart. Because he couldn't afford to provoke Zhuxian, let alone the Zhu family behind him. Zhuxian roared, a lowly creature like you, almost got me killed. Crawl out of here immediately, or I'll order the Bus Group to be blacklisted. I. Wang Bus's legs shook. Once Zhuxian blacklisted the Bus Group, it wouldn't just be his company, the entire Wang family might be implicated. Zhuxian roared, Defy Mr. Wu, and you die. I'll crawl, please don't vent your anger on the Bus Group. Wang Bus cowered, obediently crawling out of the meeting room. Stop! Zhuxian bellowed. Yes. Wang Bus dared not crawl forward. Zhuxian said, Apologize to Mr. Wu immediately. I apologize. Wang Bus, tears in his eyes, kowed out to Wu Feng. I'm sorry, Wu Feng. I was wrong. I'm sorry, Wang Bus, was blind. I apologize to you. Wu Feng spoke, Leave. Yes. Wang Bus fled from the group like his life depended on it. Zhuxian immediately put on a flattering expression, approaching Wu Feng. Mr. Wu, did I perform well? Average, Wu Feng said indifferently. Can I join Xinqing Group now? Zhuxian pointed at himself. It's up to Miss Gu, my words don't count. Understood. Dr. Wang hurried to Gu Xinqing's side. Miss Gu, please give me a chance. I am willing to stay in your company. I can serve tea, water, even clean toilets. Gu Xinqing? Chapter 32, The Joining of the Divine Dr. Zhuxian. At this moment, Gu Xinqing was completely dumbfounded. Wang Bus came knocking, announcing his intention to undermine Xinqing Group. Old employees were resigning one after another, and it seemed like the company was on the brink of collapse. But then, a major plot twist occurred. Dr. Wang Zhuxian knelt down upon seeing his younger brother. Not only did he cancel all cooperation with the Bus Group, but he also actively joined Xinqing Group? Even more frightening was Zhuxian's statement that he was willing to do anything, from serving tea to cleaning toilets, just to stay at Xinqing Group. Am I dreaming? Gu Xinqing spoke, feeling like everything was surreal. Xiaoya quickly approached and pinched her cheek. A jolt of pain made Gu Xinqing realize that this wasn't a dream, it was all real. Xiaoya shook her head in front of Gu Xinqing, saying, Sister Cheng. Ha ha ha. Gu Xinqing burst into laughter, feeling unusually happy, and everyone around her joined in. Zhu Xian hurriedly spoke up, Miss Gu, about my employment. No problem, absolutely no problem. Gu Xinqing immediately bent down, excitedly saying, having the divine Dr. Zhu join Xinqing Group is a dream come true for me. Excellent, excellent, this is also my dream. Zhu Xian was extremely excited. He knew that by joining Xinqing Group, he was one step closer to Wu Feng into fulfilling his father's mission. Gu Xinqing said, Xinqing Group will appoint you as the chief expert, and I'll give you 10% of my personal shares. No, no, no. Zhu Xian shook his head. Gu Xinqing asked, do you think the position is too low? If you're willing, I can give up my own position. No, no, no. Zhu Xian waved his hand again. That's too much. The Zhu family is willing to invest in Xinqing Group and form an alliance. In an instant, Gu Xinqing's eyes welled up with tears as she subconsciously looked at Wu Feng. Wu Feng smiled faintly, as I said, just bring him over. Gu Xinqing nodded, with 1,000 words in her heart, but in the end, she just said, brother, you're really great. At this moment, many people were moved to tears. Everyone knew that Xinqing Group had not only weathered the crisis but would also dominate the entire Xinjiang and even the entire Jizhou in the future. Woo woo. At this moment, Zhao Delong began to cry loudly. The collapse of an adult happens in just an instant. With the joining of the divine Dr. Zhu Xian, Xinqing Group was thriving. As a shareholder of Xinqing Group, his future net worth would inevitably increase from millions to billions. He would have uncountable wealth just by sitting at home. However, he had sold his shares and bought shares of the bus group yesterday. Zhao Delong's loss overnight could be tens of billions. He had missed the chance of becoming wealthy in an instant. Gu Xinqing looked at Zhao Delong and slowly said, Congratulations, Mr. Zhao, on your early retirement. Enjoy your retirement at home in the future. Ah. Zhao Delong lay on the ground, clutching his chest and wailing, my heart hurt so much. No one paid attention to Zhao Delong anymore. All the employees gathered around Gu Xinqing. Miss Gu, we were blind and trusted Mr. Zhao wrongly. Please give us another chance. I promise to work hard for the company. Miss Gu, I beg you, I have elderly parents and young children to support. I can't afford to lose my job. Gu Xinqing sneered, when the group was in its most critical moment, you all resigned and left me. Now that the group is thriving, you all want to come back? It's too late. A department head said, the group can't do without us. Such a big personnel change will definitely affect the group. Wu Feng smiled, are you kidding? Do you think Xinqing Group today still lacks talent? Tomorrow, countless talents will be kicking down the company's door. Another person, Zhou Yang, said, you fence-sitters, understand the situation clearly. Tomorrow, there will be countless talents breaking down the company's doors. The resigning group bowed their heads, no longer speaking. The truth was so cruel. Meeting adjourned. Gu Xinqing spoke, her spirits high. The leaders of the company left one after another. Some danced with joy, while others had their hearts shattered. As the crowd dispersed, Zhu Xian hurriedly said, Miss Gu, about my employment. No problem, Xiaoya, take the divine doctor to sign the contract. Gu Xinqing gestured, okay, divine doctor, please. Xiaoya extended her hand. Okay. Zhu Xian was extremely excited and followed Xiaoya out of the door. As soon as the meeting room door closed, Gu Xinqing immediately ran to Wu Feng and threw herself into his arms. You scared me. Wu Feng laughed, patting Gu Xinqing's head. Brother, I love you so much. Ha ha ha. Wu Feng laughed and wiped the lipstick mark off his lips, still faintly fragrant. Gu Xinqing's little fist pounded on Wu Feng's chest. You rascal, how did you manage that? The divine Dr. Zhu, such a top figure, called you master and even knelt down upon seeing you. Wu Feng told Gu Xinqing about the incident on Linjiang Road that night. After listening, Gu Xinqing suddenly realized. Gu Xinqing said, so, my brother's medical skills have already surpassed those of the 4 divine doctors, and even they want to worship you as their master. Wu Feng said, I'm just a beginner. The old man only passed on the secret techniques to me. Gu Xinqing leaned on Wu Feng's shoulder again. Anyway, the company has finally overcome the crisis. Wu Feng touched her little head, as I said, no matter what happens, I'll help you shoulder it. Brother, you were really amazing today. I've never seen Wang Bus in such a sorry state. Wu Feng said, that Wang Bus dared to bully you, this is his fate. Gu Xinqing laughed, I wonder what he's feeling right now. Wu Feng said, I guess he's probably hiding in his car, crying secretly. Ha ha ha. Gu Xinqing burst into laughter. At this moment, Wang Bus was sitting in his living room, tears and snot streaming down his face. Zhao Delong briskly ran into the living room and collapsed upon seeing him. Mr. Wang, we're finished. As soon as he saw Zhao Delong crying even more miserably than himself, Wang Bus stopped crying with a serious expression. Wang Bus said, Delong, crying won't solve anything. I'm not reconciled. Zhao Delong said. Wang Bus sighed, blame me. If I had taken your shares last night, it would have been better. Mr. Wang, we're like two boats tied together. Are we just going to accept our fate? Zhao Delong spoke up. Wang Bus shook his head, I will never accept it, and I will never wait for death. Excited, Zhao Delong sat up, Mr. Wang, I have a plan. Once successful, Xinqing Group will still face bankruptcy. Really? Wang Bus became excited. Absolutely. Zhao Delong stood up and leaned in to whisper in his ear, tomorrow, Xinqing Group is holding a press conference. We just need to do this, and this. Ha ha ha. Wang Bus burst into laughter after hearing the plan. Good, this is great. Chapter 33, Zhao Delong's Buried Thunder, Starlet's Breach of Contract. The Clear Heart Group having completed the formalities of employment, the Resolute Heart changed into a set of work clothes and immediately went to find Wu Feng. Greetings, Mr. Wu. Resolute Heart bowed upon entering the office. Who is this Mr. Wu to you? Wu Feng, leaning on the sofa, asked as he sipped his tea. The Resolute Heart hurriedly replied, I was hasty before. After discussing with my father, we unanimously agreed that it should be my father who pays respects to you as a mentor. Put. Wu Feng spewed out a mouthful of tea. Your father? Pay respects to me as a mentor, he exclaimed incredulously. Yes. The Resolute Heart nodded. My father intends to pay respects to you as a mentor, and he sent me to serve you. Who is your father? Wu Feng restrained his emotions. The Resolute Heart said, the head of the Zhu clan, the 19th generation patriarch of the Zhu family. Wu Feng set down his cup of water, straightened up, and said solemnly, taking disciples is a serious matter. I understand. As the sole inheritor of the Nine Needle Classic, you will certainly not easily take on disciples. Even if you do, it will surely be after rigorous assessment. Wu Feng nodded. The Zhu family is sincere. Whether or not you accept my father as a disciple, I am willing to stay by your side and serve you faithfully, the Resolute Heart declared. It is commendable for the Zhu family to have such an attitude. Wu Feng nodded. Indeed. The Resolute Heart affirmed. In the future, you don't have to call me Mr. Wu anymore, Wu Feng said. Understood. The Resolute Heart nodded. Then, I will address you as Lord Feng from now on. Such a grand title? Wu Feng furrowed his brow. No matter your age, your medical skills surpass those of my ancestors. It is only natural to address you as Lord Feng, the Resolute Heart reasoned. The other party's argument was sound and irrefutable, leaving Wu Feng with no reason to object. Very well. Suit yourself. Wu Feng waved his hand. Thank you, Mr. Wu. The Resolute Heart hurried forward to pat Wu Feng's leg. Wu Feng asked, is this Nine Needle Classic very important to your Zhu family? The Resolute Heart quickly responded, the Nine Needle Classic consisted of 9 volumes in ancient times, held by the giant clans of the 9 provinces, making it inaccessible to outsiders. 9 volumes? Wu Feng repeated. Yes, precisely 9 volumes, the Resolute Heart confirmed. However, due to constant warfare in the 9 provinces and the vicissitudes of history, all 9 volumes have been lost. But many families in the Heavenly Dragon Kingdom have been searching for these 9 volumes of the Nine Needle Classic for centuries. The Zhu family is just one of them, with generations of the family striving tirelessly. Wu Feng nodded, half believing and half skeptical. This old man, the resolute heart, was eccentric, and his words were difficult to discern as true or false, so Wu Feng treated them as a joke. This old man supposedly had a copy of the Nine Needle Classic, but it was merely used as a doorstop. For young Wu Feng, this thing was less valuable than the Jin Yong novels on the bookshelf. Ignoring the resolute heart, Wu Feng went straight to his office. As soon as he entered, he saw Gu Xinqing sitting on the sofa looking gloomy. Approaching her, Wu Feng asked, "Xinqing, what's the matter with you?" "Ah," Gu Xinqing sighed. Xiaoya spoke up, "The spokesperson for Huawei's products, Jinglan, wants to terminate the contract with the company." "Terminate the contract? Wasn't the launch of the new product scheduled for tomorrow?" Wu Feng looked surprised. Xiaoya shook her head. "I don't know why she wants to terminate the contract at this critical juncture." Gu Xinqing shook her head. "I should have realized earlier, although Jinglan is only a second-tier entertainer in European entertainment, how could her endorsement fee be so low?" Xiaoya said, "I remember, Zhao Delong was involved in this matter. He even said it was for his sake that Jinglan signed the contract at a low price. So it was Zhao Delong who planted the thunder for the company." Wu Feng exclaimed. "Yes, it's his planted thunder, but it happened to explode at this time." Gu Xinqing shook her head. Wu Feng asked, "Is there no other solution?" Xiaoya shook her head. "Several female artists the company has collaborated with have made excuses to decline. I'm afraid they've already been bribed by Zhao Delong." Gu Xinqing said, "Zhao Delong just wants to see us embarrassed at the launch of the new product." Wu Feng said, "In that case, let's call Third Sister and ask her to come and endorse you." Gu Xinqing shook her head. "She's too busy with filming and has no time at all, not to mention that a far-off solution can't save an imminent crisis." Xiaoya said, "If the launch is postponed for 3 days, we can use that time to find a completely new spokesperson." Gu Xinqing shook her head. "Postponing the launch will only make the public more resentful than not having a spokesperson." Wu Feng said, "The problem lies with this Jinglan." Gu Xinqing stood up. "I'm going to see her in person and have a good talk with her about this matter, trying to persuade her to change her mind." "I'll accompany you." Wu Feng said, "Good." Gu Xinqing nodded. The two siblings left the company and drove straight to Jinglan's suburban villa. In the suburban villa, Jinglan, dressed in a robe, lay on a lounge chair by the pool. With a face mask on, she scrolled through Weibo on her phone. Accidentally, she came across a Weibo post by Xiaoyu. It unexpectedly had tens of thousands of likes and shares, with comments reaching thousands. "What's this nonsense?" Jinglan was so angry that she threw her phone aside. Xiaoyu was a newly signed artist of European entertainment. It was said that she was a member of a girl group hired by the director at a great expense from abroad. Without any intersection with Jinglan, Xiaoyu's rise would inevitably compete for Jinglan's resources. At the same time, it meant that Jinglan had no chance of returning to the forefront, let alone becoming the top star. So from the beginning, Jinglan had no good impression of Xiaoyu, but more jealousy. "Looks like an ordinary person, with an average figure. Why should she be the top star?" Jinglan rolled her eyes, increasingly unable to understand the preferences of young people both having hundreds of thousands of fans. When Jinglan posted a Weibo, she only got a few hundred likes and dozens of comments. The more she thought about it, the angrier she got. She picked up her phone and checked Xiaoyu's Weibo post. It was just a few chat records. Xiaoyu was chatting with a boy, claiming to be a flight attendant. The boy believed her without question and even praised her figure. The last picture was a goofy selfie of Xiaoyu. "What's this nonsense?" Jinglan muttered. "Is this considered a Weibo post? How dare she post ugly selfies? She'll lose tens of thousands of followers in minutes." Growing angrier, driven by curiosity, Jinglan opened the comments section. At welcoming on the sidewalk, "Is this little brother so naive? Doesn't he even know the top beauty Xiaoyu on Weibo?" At Xiaoyu's husband, "Can't wait, Xiaoyu actually plays a fool, can't wait for the update." At Yu's army mate, "If Xiaoyu were thrown on the street, you definitely wouldn't recognize her, but as long as you look at her seriously for 3 minutes, you'll be enchanted by her." At Deep-Rooted, the one above is right. "The first time I saw Xiaoyu, she looked ordinary, the second time she still looked ordinary, but after the third time, I fell in love with her." At Only Love Xiaoyu, so many internet-famous stars, what's the point of Jinglan? After a glance or two, I'm tired of her, but Xiaoyu, the more I look, the more delicate she becomes. "You bastard." Jinglan cursed loudly. feeling enraged. Switching to her alternate account, she replied to it, "Only love Xiaoyu, it's okay to worship Xiaoyu. Please don't insult my favorite star Jinglan. Be kind as a human being. I advise you to be kind." Getting angrier as she thought, Jinglan sent a private message to the user at Only Love Xiaoyu, QNMD, SB. Turning off Weibo, Jinglan called Zhao Delong. Chapter 34, The Secret of Starlet Jinglan. Godfather. Jinglan immediately began to act cute. "Little darling, how did things go?" Zhao Delong asked. Jinglan pouted, "You've been with me for so many years, don't you understand me yet? Now Gu Xinqing is almost desperate." "Ah, well done, beautifully done." Zhao Delong burst into laughter. Jinglan said, "I risked breaching the contract to help you with this matter. Don't worry, Godfather won't mistreat you." Zhao Delong reassured. Jinglan said, "Then tell me, how is that not mistreating me?" Zhao Delong said, "Tomorrow, the bus group will also launch a new product called Flower Bud, and I want you to be the spokesperson." "Just a spokesperson?" Jinglan seemed a bit dissatisfied. "What else do you want?" Zhao Delong asked. Jinglan said, "Of course, I want to be the top star that newcomer Xiaoyu and the company has stolen my spotlight." Zhao Delong immediately said, "No problem, as long as you don't attend the launch of the Heart Clear group, that Xiaoyu will be blocked by President Wang in minutes." "That's Godfather being kind." Jinglan immediately smiled. Zhao Delong said, "In Qin City, there's nothing President Wang can't handle. Have you cleaned up? Godfather will come to see you later." "I've already cleaned up, just waiting for you to come." Jinglan smiled and hung up the phone, feeling happy. "Sister Lan, the chairman of the Heart Clear group is here," the maid at home came to the poolside. "Gu Xinqing?" Jinglan raised an eyebrow and snorted, "Let her in to see me." "Okay." The maid nodded and quickly went to open the door. In no time, Gu Xinqing and Wu Feng arrived at the poolside. "Sister Lan, it's been a long time. You look even more beautiful." Gu Xinqing stood humbly in front of Jinglan, speaking with extreme humility. "President Gu, you're really good at joking. We haven't met a few times in total, have we?" Jinglan retorted mercilessly. Gu Xinqing still maintained her smile. "Sister Lan is right, we really haven't met a few times." "Humph." Jinglan snorted, "Sister Lan? Are you really younger than me? An old cucumber with green paint, pretending to be young? This." Gu Xinqing couldn't help but laugh at her anger. Jinglan shook her head, "Alright, I can't be bothered to argue with you. Speak your mind." Gu Xinqing nodded, "Well, our company just signed Medical King Zhu Xian as the chief expert, and the future looks promising. I hope you won't cancel the product endorsement this time." "Sorry, I just want to cancel it. If you have the guts, you can sue me." Jinglan seemed confident. Gu Xinqing pursed her lips and stopped speaking. She had seen the contract. Even if she won the lawsuit against Jinglan, the most she could get was a few tens of thousands, not enough to cover the legal fees. Zhao Delong, who had planned everything in advance, wouldn't leave any flaws when planting thunder. Gu Xinqing said, "So, we have nothing to discuss? What's there to discuss? Hurry up and get lost. Don't be a dog in my sight." Jinglan cursed. "How can you talk to her like this? Can you speak like a human being?" Wu Feng couldn't stand it anymore. He didn't want to have a direct conflict with Jinglan. After all, she was a woman. But who knew, this woman didn't want to let go of the insults, spewing filth from her mouth. Jinglan got angry. "President Gu, your pet is very fierce. Do you have a problem? Why do you call others dogs?" Gu Xinqing suddenly got angry and looked like she was about to fight with Jinglan. Wu Feng quickly grabbed Gu Xinqing. "Sister Xinqing, don't argue with her. Often, only people who like to play the role of a dog would insult others as dogs." "You're talking nonsense. Why should I listen to you? If I don't, do you want me to break your legs?" Jinglan got angry and jumped up, pointing at Wu Feng menacingly. Wu Feng coldly snorted, "Your wrists, ankles, and neck all have marks of being tied and waxed. There's a smell of athlete's foot and flatulence when you speak. In your benefactor's eyes, Jinglan, you must be a very obedient dog, right?" Jinglan cursed loudly, "You're talking nonsense. I won't play such vulgar games. You bastard, don't you dare slander me." At that moment, a Mercedes-Benz drove into the villa compound. Zhao Delong got out of the car and happened to see Wu Feng and Gu Xinqing. Wu Feng smiled, "Hey, your benefactor is here. Hurry up and go to pay your respects." "Ah!" Jinglan screamed and stomped her feet on the ground in anger. "What's wrong, my little darling?" Zhao Delong approached, reaching out to pat Jinglan's head. "Wu Feng, what's going on?" Zhao Delong's face changed. "Gu Xinqing, are you bullying people too much?" Zhao Delong asked the other party. Gu Xinqing retorted, "Zhao Delong, who's the one really bullying others? If it weren't for you interfering, would Jinglan have breached the contract?" Zhao Delong sneered, "So what if it was me? The new product launches tomorrow, I want to see with my own eyes how you embarrass yourself." Gu Xinqing sneered, "You won't succeed." Zhao Delong said, "By the way, I forgot to tell you, the bus group will also hold a new product launch tomorrow. The new product is named Flower Bud, and the spokesperson is Jinglan." "Shameless." Gu Xinqing trembled with anger. The Flower Bud product had been the result of 3 years of hard work for Gu Xinqing. On the eve of the launch, the bus group unexpectedly launched a counterfeit product to spite them. What was even more infuriating was that they used Jinglan, the spokesperson of the Heartclear group, for this shameless act of confusing right and wrong would directly mislead consumers, and even mistake Flower Bud for Flower Bud. Gu Xinqing, who had truly put her heart into making the product, might be destroyed by a plagiarist like Wang Bus. Wu Feng sneered, "Zhao Delong, you were once a former director of the company, yet you're doing such despicable and shameless things. Aren't you afraid of being exposed?" Zhao Delong's face changed. "Wu Feng, don't boast about your tongue. You'll suffer in the future." Jinglan jumped up in anger, "Godfather, it's him. He just called me a dog and insulted me. You have to help me teach him a lesson." Wu Feng coldly snorted and asked Jinglan, "What did I say wrong?" Jinglan got angry again, You. Shut up, you scumbag, you coward, you're talking nonsense." Wu Feng quickly changed his tune, "Sorry, I was rash just now. Everything I said was wrong." "Humph." Jinglan hugged her shoulders, looking arrogant, "If you make a mistake, you have to admit it." Wu Feng sneered, "The hormone scent lingering on you doesn't belong to Zhao Delong. So, the one holding your dog leash, Jinglan, isn't Zhao Delong, but someone else, and not just one." Zhao Delong's face instantly changed, and he looked at Jinglan. "What is he talking about? Don't listen to his nonsense, he's talking crap." Jinglan shouted, almost in tears from frustration. "According to the depth of the marks on your body, the incident happened in the morning." Wu Feng looked at Zhao Delong. "At that time, you were still at the Heartclear group, right?" In an instant, Zhao Delong got angry and tore open Jinglan's bathrobe. Chapter 35, Goodness, you're Xiaoyu. Jinglan didn't even have her underwear on, her entire body was covered in whip marks. Tears streamed down Jinglan's face as she pleaded, "Mr. Zhao, let me explain, these are all from scratching by dogs." "To hell with you." Zhao Delong roared, slapping Jinglan across the face with a single blow. "Ah!" Jinglan screamed in misery, sprawling on the ground, clutching onto Zhao Delong's thigh tightly. "Daddy, I was wrong, I won't dare again, please spare me," she begged. Zhao Delong kicked her away with one foot. "You wench, I've given you food, clothing, and everything. You dare to cuckold me? I'll finish you off today." Jinglan ran away while pleading, with Zhao Delong chasing after her relentlessly, the two of them locked in a fierce struggle. Wu Feng and Gu Xinqing simply drove away from the villa in their car. Gu Xinqing exclaimed, "Zhao Delong is such scum, he deserves to be cuckolded." Wu Feng said, "Jinglan isn't any better. If such a person becomes the spokesperson for the company's new product, it will still be a time bomb in the future." Gu Xinqing nodded, "You're right. The company must not cooperate with such a low-quality artist, even if it means a huge loss. The only solution now is to find a new spokesperson and minimize the company's losses." Wu Feng nodded, "Sister Xinqing, do you have anyone in mind?" Gu Xinqing said, "Yes, there is Xiaoyu, a new artist signed by Euro Entertainment. Recently, she has been very active on Weibo, and her number of fans has been skyrocketing." "That impressive?" Wu Feng was somewhat curious. Gu Xinqing said, "I've been following this Xiaoyu. She has a very straightforward personality and occasionally likes to be goofy and silly." Wu Feng nodded, "It seems that Xiaoyu is indeed a suitable candidate." However, Gu Xinqing shook her head, "Unfortunately, her schedule is fully booked until next year. We don't have any chance." The Land Rover returned to the company. Gu Xinqing hurried back to her office with her bag. Wu Feng checked the time on his phone. It was already time to leave work. It seemed that Gu Xinqing would be working overtime again today. Ding dong, ding dong, ding dong. Wu Feng's WeChat kept popping up with notifications. Little brother, do you remember me? I'm the flight attendant you chatted with last time. You said you were busy when I invited you to dinner last time. Do you finally have time today? Little brother, why aren't you replying to me? Several WeChat messages were all from the flight attendant, Tian Xiaoye, who Wu Feng had chatted with before. Wu Feng didn't have time to flirt with her and replied, I'm working overtime tonight, so I don't have time to have dinner with you. Tian Xiaoye immediately replied, Little brother, are you just trying to brush me off? Wu Feng replied, Our company is launching a new product tomorrow, but the spokesperson has dropped out. Is it that serious? Who is the spokesperson? Tian Xiaoye asked. Wu Feng said, That's company confidential information, I can't tell you. Tian Xiaoye clicked her tongue, TCH. Forget it, I won't talk to you anymore, I have to go now. Wu Feng said and was about to close WeChat. At that moment, Tian Xiaoye called him. Wu Feng habitually hung up. However, Tian Xiaoye called again. Wu Feng reluctantly answered, What do you want? Excitedly, Tian Xiaoye said, Wu Feng little brother, maybe I can help you with this problem. How can you help? Are you going to be the spokesperson for us? Wu Feng asked with a smile. Tian Xiaoye said, Sure. If you don't mind, I'll go be the spokesperson for your company. Wu Feng said, Little sister, stop fooling around. Let's have dinner another day. Tian Xiaoye said, Don't hang up, don't hang up. I'm serious. I can introduce you to someone, the new artist Xiao Yu from Euro Entertainment. Wu Feng suddenly frowned. The flight attendant Tian Xiaoye and the female artist Xiao Yu from Euro Entertainment had the same name. How could such a coincidence happen? What's even more coincidental was that Tian Xiaoye wanted to introduce Xiao Yu to Wu Feng. A terrifying answer floated into Wu Feng's mind. Tian Xiaoye was actually the female artist Xiao Yu. Wait a moment. Wu Feng quickly minimized the call interface and quickly opened Weibo to search for the artist Xiao Yu. He found Xiao Yu's Weibo photos and compared them with the photos in Tian Xiaoye's moments. Oh my god! Wu Feng exclaimed. Ha ha! Tian Xiaoye laughed heartily from the other end of the phone. Wu Feng said, Goodness, you're the popular female artist Xiao Yu, aren't you? Ha ha! Tian Xiaoye laughed happily on the other end of the phone. Wu Feng scratched his head awkwardly. Just when Gu Xinqing and he were racking their brains and couldn't think of a solution, the savior was right beside them. It turned out that sometimes, as the saying goes, opportunities come unexpectedly, without any effort. Tian Xiaoye said, Little brother Wu Feng, do you believe me now? Wu Feng said, I do, absolutely. Tian Xiaoye said, Then how about having dinner together tonight? Wu Feng quickly said, Of course, and I'll treat you to dinner. Tian Xiaoye said, Great. I'll send you the location of this restaurant, let's meet there later. Okay. Wu Feng smiled and hung up the phone. Half an hour later, the two of them met at a barbecue restaurant in the city. Tian Xiaoye was dressed very casually, wearing black shorts and a white tank top. Her long ponytail was tied high, and she wore a black baseball cap on her head. Her delicate face didn't need much makeup. This was the second time Wu Feng had seen her, and he still felt that she was a very ordinary girl. But when he looked into her eyes, there was an indescribable sense of familiarity. As if she were a cute and mischievous neighbor girl. Wu Feng little brother, please sit. Tian Xiaoye smiled slightly, revealing two small dimples at the corners of her mouth. Sure. Wu Feng nodded, and the two of them sat down. Soon, beer and barbecue were served. They chatted while eating. Wu Feng asked, Why did you lie to me about being a flight attendant? Tian Xiaoye laughed, Did I? My previous job really was a flight attendant, but later I changed careers to become an artist. Alright. Wu Feng nodded. Ian Xiaoye said, Now that we're good friends, I've decided to become the spokesperson for HeartClear Group's new product. Wu Feng raised his glass, Thank you so much. You've come to my aid when I needed it the most. Tian Xiaoye laughed, A true friend is the one who lends a hand when you're in need. If you can get me drunk tonight, then our cooperation will be considered a success. Really? Wu Feng laughed. Of course, as long as you can get me drunk. Tian Xiaoye patted her chest, full of confidence. Her drinking capacity was well known in the industry. Let's drink to that. Wu Feng downed a glass of wine directly. Cheers. Tian Xiaoye smiled and raised her glass, finishing it in one gulp. Afterwards, they toasted each other frequently. That night, the two of them got extremely drunk. Chapter 36, Conquering Qingjie. The following day, at the Qin City International Hotel, Gu Xianqing, clad in a professional suit, paced back and forth in the lobby. The rhythmic clack of her high heels echoed on the marble floor. She was impatient, with less than 2 hours left until the press conference. Last night, she stayed up late contacting several companies. However, the responses she received this morning were all excuses: no availability, time constraints, we regret our inability to assist. General Gu, good morning. At the main entrance of the hotel lobby, Wang Bushi led the actress Jing Lan towards her, appearing inseparable. Gu Xiansheng was astonished, completely overturning her previous understanding yesterday. Jing Lan was still calling Zhao Dalong her godfather, but today, she was nestled in Wang Bushi's embrace? Wang Bushi spoke up. What a coincidence, our Bushi group is also launching new products today, right in the north corner of the top floor. Gu Xiansheng bit her lip, her face turning pale. Their own press conference was scheduled for the south corner of the top floor, while Wang Bushi arranged his shoddy goods in the north corner. This blatant rascal was merely here to harass and disgust her. Wang Bushi chuckled. General Gu, how are the preparations for your new product launch? Do not concern yourself, we are well prepared, Gu Xianqing replied calmly. Very well, let's meet on the top floor and settle our competition. Wang Bushi ushered Jing Lan into the elevator. Before entering, Jing Lan turned her head and remarked, General Gu, be careful not to have your computer data stolen. She burst into a brazen laugh as the elevator doors closed. Gu Xianqing squatted on the ground, burying her head between her knees, her eyes reddening. She felt aggrieved, helpless, and humiliated, a mixture of emotions swirling within her. Xiaoya approached with concern. Qingjie, are you all right? I am fine, Gu Xiansheng waved her hand dismissively. Xiaoya said, both sets of plans for the press conference are ready on your computer. Gu Xiansheng nodded. 2 sets of plans, one for signing contracts with artists on site, the other for announcing the postponement of the press conference. Until the last moment, Gu Xiansheng wouldn't choose the second set of plans. If the launch of the new product were postponed, all public and media attention would shift to the Bushi group. At that point, all their prior publicity and efforts would be in vain, essentially handing everything over to Wang Bushi. How could she willingly be the sacrificial lamb for someone else? Gu Xiansheng approached the bed, gazing towards the distant, clear sky. Even at this moment, she still firmly believed that there was fairness in this world. Justice might be delayed, but it never failed to arrive. In the instant Gu Xianqing turned around, she saw Wu Feng entering the hotel. Qingjie. Wu Feng hurried over. Why did you just arrive? Gu Xianqing raised her wristwatch, indicating the late hour. Wu Feng slapped his forehead. I drank too much last night and delayed things. You're truly something, going to drink at a time like this. Gu Xianqing shook her head helplessly. Wu Feng hastily said, but it wasn't in vain, I managed to persuade Tian Xiaoye. Gu Xianqing was taken aback. Tian Xiaoye? Xiaoye covered her mouth. Are you talking about the top European entertainment star, Xiaoye? Yes. Wu Feng nodded, pointing towards the hotel's parking lot. She's packing up her things and will be here soon. As he finished speaking, a beautiful woman in black trousers and a white shirt walked into the hotel with graceful steps. The woman extended her hand to Gu Xianqing. General Gu, hello, I'm Xiaoye. Excitedly, Gu Xianqing grasped Xiaoye's hand. Teacher Xiaoye, thank you so much. Tian Xiaoye smiled faintly. General Gu, you're too polite. Wu Feng and I are friends. Helping each other is only natural. Let's get started right away. All right. Gu Xianqing nodded, feeling revitalized. She immediately instructed Xiaoye to take Tian Xiaoye to the dressing room to prepare for the attire. Meanwhile, she herself, accompanied by Wu Feng, went to announce this uplifting news to the audience. The employees of the Xiansheng group were initially despondent. However, upon hearing that teacher Xiaoye was coming to the rescue, they became as excited as if they had been injected with chicken blood. Inside the venue, cheers erupted. Gu Xiansheng hugged Wu Feng excitedly. Brother, you're amazing. Can you tell me how you did it? Wu Feng chuckled. She said last night, if I could get her drunk, she would agree to it, so I got her drunk. Gu Xianqing laughed. You rascal, no wonder you came so late today. But you did it beautifully, you'll be credited with a great achievement. Wu Feng said, let's get to work quickly, don't let that scoundrel Wang Bushi see us making a fool of ourselves. Gu Xianqing nodded, immediately opening her computer to execute the first set of plans. However, the computer suddenly froze. Subsequently, pop-up windows incessantly appeared, ultimately causing the computer to crash. The computer emitted a buzzing sound. Oh no! Gu Xianqing slapped her head in frustration. What's wrong? Wu Feng asked. Gu Xianqing said, all the data for today's press conference is on the computer, but now it's crashed. How unfortunate. Wu Feng quickly sat down and rebooted the computer. It entered the interface, then continuously displayed pop-up windows until it crashed again. Gu Xianqing tried other laptops from the company and even used the desktop computer at the venue, but the result was the same, continuous pop-ups until the system crashed. Xiaolu, go back to the office and fetch my backup computer. Wu Feng shook his head, no need, it's a distributed virus attack. No matter how many computers you bring, it won't help. What? Gu Xianqing was stunned. The computer has been infected with a virus, and the data is lost. I need some time to fix it. Wu Feng said solemnly. The data is lost? Gu Xianqing suddenly remembered the words Jinglan said in the lobby. Be careful, don't let your computer data be stolen. At this moment, those words pierced her heart like a needle, causing unbearable pain. It's Wang Bushi's doing. Gu Xianqing shook her head, affirming, it's my fault, I should have been cautious when Jinglan said those words in the lobby. Director Zhou Yang said, could it be that Wang Bushi took our documents to promote their new products? Highly probable. Gu Xianqing nodded. These are a bunch of bandits. Xiaoya exclaimed indignantly. The faces of everyone darkened once again. Wang Bushi's shamelessness was beyond description. Not only did he copy Xianqing Group's products, but he also wanted to steal their spokespersons and documents. After a moment of silence, Xiaoya spoke up, Qingjie, give us some time, we can recreate the documents. Gu Xianqing shook her head, there's no time, the Bushi Group's press conference is only half an hour away. Zhou Yang shook his head, these animals, they're shameless to the extreme. Xiaoya became disheartened, in that case, our documents will be considered theirs, and if we use them, it's plagiarism. Chapter 37, Taking Shamelessness to the Extreme. Gu Xianqing remained silent, always thinking of the worst-case scenario. These bunch of bandits, I'll go reason with them. Zhou Yang, filled with righteous indignation, was about to rush out. The other old employees were also filled with righteous anger and wanted to go with Zhou Yang to reason with the Bushi Group. Stop. Wu Feng spoke up. Why are you stopping me? Zhou Yang looked at Wu Feng displeased. Zhou Yang had always had some doubts about Wu Feng and could easily categorize him as an enemy of the company. Wu Feng said, things are not as bad as everyone thinks. Do you have a solution? Zhou Yang looked at Wu Feng with curiosity. Wu Feng pointed to the computer interface and said, see for yourself. Everyone looked at the laptop screen. The computer had returned to normal, and the two sets of documents were placed on the desktop. I'll be darned, the computer is fixed? In just a moment, it's all resolved? Brother Feng, are you a computer genius? In an instant, everyone's gaze towards Wu Feng changed. Initially, they thought he was just a security team leader who got into the company through connections. Later, when they saw Dr. Wu Juxian kneel to him, they thought he was just a wealthy second generation with a good family background. It wasn't until today, at this moment, that everyone realized that Wu Feng had real skills. Wu Feng stood up and said, indeed, someone has invaded our computer and stolen the documents. However, I have traced back to their location, replaced the documents, and left them a surprise. The real show is just beginning. The Bushi Group's press conference will be very exciting. Xiaoya curiously asked, Brother Feng, what's the surprise? Not suitable for children. Wu Feng smiled, everyone should focus on what they need to do, and make good use of their time. What surprise? Why is it not suitable for children? What's this guy selling in the gourd? Colleagues discussed eagerly, full of curiosity. Gu Xianqing immediately raised her hands, colleagues, let's focus on our work and not let the enemy look down on us. The chairman spoke, and the employees immediately returned to their workstations. As everyone else left, Gu Xianqing asked Wu Feng softly, "Is everything really settled?" "Of course." Wu Feng nodded. "So, what's the surprise?" Gu Xianqing asked. "Are you curious too?" Wu Feng said of course. Gu Xianqing nodded. "I hate these scumbags so much." Wu Feng said, "Alright, let's go see the Bushi Group's press conference in person and see how they handle it." "Okay." Gu Xianqing nodded. The siblings immediately left and headed straight to the scene of the Bushi Group's press conference. Less than 10 minutes before the start of the press conference, the venue was already filled with media reporters and old customers. Backstage lounge. Wang Bushi leaned back on the sofa, holding a cigar in one hand and a glass of red wine in the other. Zhao Delong raised his glass. "Congratulations, Boss Wang, today we achieved victory without even fighting a battle." Wang Bushi laughed. "I imagine Gu Xianqing must be furious at this moment." Zhao Delong said, "She might have gone mad by now." Wang Bushi patted Zhao Delong's shoulder. "With a fierce general like you expanding the territory for the group, I'm relieved." Zhao Delong thumped his chest. "It's my duty as a member of the group to give my all until death." Wang Bushi raised his glass and took a sip. "Your technique of praising the sun to chase away the day yesterday was the real masterpiece." Zhao Delong also laughed. "Boss Wang, your technique of praising the sun to chase away the day was the real masterpiece." Wang Bushi waved modestly. "You're too kind, weary both comrades, next time I'll teach you this technique." Zhao Delong lowered his voice and asked, "Boss Wang, Jinglan still doesn't know about the video we shot. If she finds out, she'll go crazy." Wang Bushi waved his hand. "The video has already been stored in an encrypted cloud disk. A dog needs to be chained. Without leaving any handles, it won't behave." Zhao Delong asked again, "Even if you hire that hacker, you can't crack it?" Wang Bushi nodded. "I specifically had him try, and he said unless, no one else will find it." Zhao Delong gave him a thumbs up. "Boss Wang, you're a master of strategy." The two of them joked as they left the backstage. Randomly seated at the press conference venue. The music in the venue gradually subsided, and the male and female hosts took the stage. After a simple opening, they immediately introduced the spokesperson for the new products of the Bushi Group, Jinglan. "Welcome, Teacher Jing." The hosts applauded first. Then, the entire venue erupted into thunderous applause. Amidst the anticipation of everyone, Jinglan, wearing a crystal dress, slowly walked onto the stage. The lights were dazzling, and the crystals on Jinglan's body kept emitting light. The female host looked at her with envy. "Teacher Jing, you are truly beautiful today." "No, my titanium alloy dog eyes have been blinded by the light." The male host took the opportunity to flatter. Jinglan took the microphone and bowed slightly to the audience. "Thank you all for your attention and support to me." The female host asked, "Teacher Jing, can you tell us how you became associated with the Bushi Group?" The male host said, "I heard rumors online that you were the product spokesperson for Xianqing Group before. Is that true?" Jinglan smiled faintly. "Indeed, I was indeed the product spokesperson for Xianqing Group before." As soon as this was said, the whole venue erupted into an uproar, and many reporters turned their cameras towards her. Jing continued, "However, when I learned that the new products of the Xianqing Group were plagiarizing the achievements of the Bushi Group, I chose to say no." With this statement, the whole venue exploded before the media questioning session even began. The reporters couldn't contain themselves. "Is it true that Teacher Jing terminated her contract with Xianqing Group because of their plagiarism?" "Teacher Jing, you have never had a boyfriend so far. Is it true that you are a lesbian?" "Teacher Jing, how do you view the plagiarism of Xianqing Group? How does the Bushi Group respond?" "Shameless." Gu Xianqing in the audience was so angry that her face turned red. "Don't worry, the real show is yet to come." Wu Feng held her hand tightly. Gu Xianqing shook her head. "I've never seen such shameless people. She pretends to be a pure flower on stage, but she's a real green tea bitch off stage." Wu Feng smiled. "She won't be able to pretend for much longer." "What do you mean?" Gu Xianqing asked puzzledly. "Did you catch her with evidence?" "You'll see soon." Wu Feng pointed to the stage. Chapter 38, Jinglan's promo video is extraordinary. Jinglan responded to each question from the media reporters one by one, splashing all the dirty water onto the Xianqing Group. "I, Jinglan, guarantee with my career in entertainment that Bushi Group's cosmetics are definitely the best for women. At the same time, I also urge everyone to keep their eyes open and not be fooled by those counterfeit, opportunistic products. Applause erupted from the audience. The female host held the microphone, excitedly saying, "Thanks to Teacher Jing for her righteousness, she has opened the eyes of the masses." The male host also said, "I see Teacher Jing is getting younger and younger. I heard that you are practicing the art of Jade Maiden, is that true?" Ha ha ha. Jinglan laughed, "These are just jokes my fans play with me. Every day, my fans advise me on Weibo to find a good man to marry. But I still stick to my principles. Before I meet my true mister. Right, I will never marry." The male host clapped, "Thank you for your answer, Teacher Jing. I wish you find your true mister. Right soon." The female host continued, "Next, please watch the first promotional video of the Bushi group." The male host added, "Let me interject here. This promotional video was filmed with great care and its artistic achievement is comparable to that of foreign blockbuster films." In an instant, the male host's words aroused the curiosity of everyone in the audience. Jinglan sat elegantly on a resting chair by the stage, maintaining the most graceful posture. After today, she believed she would definitely return to the peak. She was looking forward to the surprised expressions of the audience when they saw this promotional video. The large screen on the stage slowly lit up. The scene in the camera was a high-end hotel. The room was filled with smoke. A naked woman crawled on the ground, her body covered in whip marks. "If you want to become famous, crawl harder for me. There will be rewards for crawling well," a man's voice rang out. The woman on the ground made a coquettish voice, "Daddy, I'm risking my career to help you frame the Xin Cheng group. You and President Wang must keep your word. Don't worry, I, Wang, have only one principle: tread on others' paths and leave them with no way to go." Immediately, the scene switched to a scene of group intimacy. The intense screams echoed throughout the entire venue. "Daddy! Daddy, I know I'm wrong. Daddy, please spare little Lon." In an instant, the faces of the male and female hosts turned green. Crazed Jinglan picked up the microphone and defended loudly, "It's fake, it's all fake. Someone is framing me, don't believe it, everyone." In the front row, Zhao Delong's face turned green. "Boss Wang, what's going on? Damn it, who the hell did this? Turn off the video now." Wang Bushi roared, kicking over the table. The hosts hurriedly closed the computer, and the security guards frantically blocked the media from taking photos at the scene. The whole venue was in chaos, and Jinglan's defense became increasingly weak. "Oh my god? Was that female star Jinglan? Jinglan isn't the leader of purity, how could she do such a thing? Framed the Xin Cheng group, my god? Is the Bushi group plagiarizing the ideas of the Xin Cheng group? Oh my god? This scandal is too big. Jinglan is actually such a person." In the last row of the audience, Gu Xin Cheng lowered her head and pinched Wu Feng's hand back fiercely. "Stinky brother, did you do this? I told you, not suitable for children." Wu Feng laughed. Gu Xin Cheng complained, "I'm not a child." "Why is Sister Qin blushing?" Wu Feng asked with a smile. Upon hearing this, Gu Xin Cheng felt even more embarrassed. "Watching this kind of thing in public, I'm so embarrassed. Now the person who wants to die the most is Jinglan. How was my move, little brother?" Wu Feng smiled and patted Gu Xin Cheng's head. "Although it's a bit shameless, it feels really satisfying." Gu Xin Cheng laughed. "Tit for tat, they're doing shady things behind our backs, so I can only retaliate." When Wu Feng checked Gu Xin Cheng's notebook, he traced the hacker in no time without the other party's knowledge. He stole their chat records with Wang Bushi. Then, Wu Feng followed the clues and accidentally discovered that video. As for the so-called encrypted cloud disk, Wu Feng cracked it in just 3 seconds. "We should go back now. The Xin Cheng group's press conference is about to start. It's time to reclaim our own glory." Wu Feng smiled. The siblings walked hand in hand, leaving the venue in style. The Bushi group's press conference turned into a mess. Under the protection of the security guards, Wang Bushi, Jinglan, Zhao Delong, and other important figures of the company gathered in the backstage lounge. Jinglan cursed, "Zhao Delong, Wang Bushi, are you still human? How could you film such a thing?" Wang Bushi stood up and shouted, "What the hell are you shouting about? I'm suffering more losses now than you are. The entire press conference has been ruined." Zhao Delong said, "Stop arguing. We should figure out how to solve this issue now." Wang Bushi roared, solve it? How do we solve it? Tomorrow, this whole bitch will be on the headlines. And we'll all be done for. Jinglan shouted, who are you calling a bitch? Everything I did was taught by you guys. I'm going to beat you up. Furious Wang Bushi grabbed the ashtray and brutally beat Jinglan in public. The entire lounge was filled with Jinglan's screams. Wang Bushi, full of rage, said, immediately contact the people from European Entertainment and blacklist the artist Xiao Yu. In the South Hall, the chief press conference of the XIN Qing Group's new product, Budding, was held as scheduled. Many media outlets transferred from the North Hall reporters were curious about why Jinglan terminated her contract with the XIN Qing Group. At the same time, they wondered who the new product's spokesperson for the XIN Qing Group would be. Gu Xin Qing personally took the stage and revealed the mystery to the audience. Everyone, the XIN Qing Group has been dedicated to the research and development of cosmetics for many years. Please trust our professionalism. At the same time, regarding Jinglan's termination of her contract and who the spokesperson for the new product is, we will announce it immediately. Amidst the applause, the popular actress Xiao Yu appeared on stage. Wow! Isn't this teacher Xiao Yu? Oh my god! No wonder the XIN Qing Group terminated the contract with Jinglan. They replaced her with Xiao Yu as the spokesperson. The whole venue erupted with astonishment. Xiao Yu's popularity on the internet was terrifying. At this moment, even capturing her silhouette could become tomorrow's headline. Gu Xin Qing picked up the microphone again. Everyone, I have another important announcement to make. Yi Wang, the king of medicine, will join our company as the chief researcher for cosmetic products. As soon as she finished speaking, the entire venue exploded. Chapter 39, Tian Xiaoye incurs trouble. On the same day, at the same hotel. Both held their product launch events at the top-level venue. The bus group suffered a humiliating setback on the spot. The scene was too unsightly to behold. In contrast, the XIN Qing Group continued to unveil stunning revelations. Not only appointing the renowned medical king Zhu Xin as chief expert on the spot, but also signing an endorsement contract with the popular actress Xia Ye. Though competitors, the two companies represented heaven and hell. XIN Qing Group's new product launch event concluded successfully. And by 11 a.m. Both pieces of news made it to the local hot headlines. Actress Jinglan suspected of being kept by bus group directors, the image of many years as a pure woman collapses. XIN Qing Group terminates contract with Jinglan, signs deal with popular actress Xia Ye, and hires famous physician Zhu Xin as chief expert. For the long-suffering employees of XIN Qing Group, these two pieces of news undoubtedly lifted their spirits. Gu Xin Qing immediately announced, everyone, don't leave, I'll treat you to lunch, just a simple one at the International Hotel. With that said, all the employees became excited. Thank you, President Gu. Gu Xin Qing waved with a smile. Xiaoye, please arrange. Xiaoye interrupted him, Sister Qing, something has happened. What's wrong? Gu Xin Qing suddenly became serious. Xiaoye gestured with her phone, this is the announcement just released by the European Entertainment Director, they do not acknowledge Xiaoye's contract with XIN Qing Group, and reserve the right to pursue legal responsibilities. You go and arrange for everyone to have lunch first, I'll handle this matter. Gu Xin Qing said, then hurriedly called Wu Feng to the backstage dressing room. Tian Xiaoye quickly stood up, President Gu, I need to return to the company, I won't attend the celebration banquet. Gu Xin Qing said, it's about European Entertainment not acknowledging the validity of the contract, right? Yes. Tian Xiaoye nodded, looking somewhat disheartened. Wu Feng, puzzled, said, if you sign a contract, isn't it invalid if the company doesn't acknowledge it? Tian Xiaoye said, there is a clause in the contract, during the agreement period, all activities such as signing, endorsements, and performances by the artist are the sole responsibility of the company, and the artist has no right to handle these matters. I just noticed these terms, I'm sorry. Gu Xin Qing nodded, I understand now, the contract only has legal effect when European Entertainment and XIN Qing Group sign it. Okay. Tian Xiaoye nodded. Gu Xin Qing said, so, now we'll go back with you to handle this matter. Wu Feng also said, I invited you, I won't let you bear these risks alone. Thank you both. Tian Xiaoye's lips curved into a slight smile. The three immediately went downstairs, got in the car, and headed straight to European Entertainment. On the way, Tian Xiaoye called director Huang Shuo. Hello, Director Huang, it's Xiaoye, on my way back to the company. Come back. I'm waiting for you in the office. At this moment, Huang Shuo was sitting with his legs crossed in the boss's chair in the office after hanging up Tian Xiaoye's call. He immediately called Wang Busi. Hey, brother-in-law, it's me, Xiao Shuo. Xiao Shuo, brother-in-law, I need your help with this matter. Wang Busi's tone was much more subdued than usual. Huang Shuo smiled. Of course, I've already taken care of this, Xiaoye. Excellent, well done. Wang Busi on the other end of the phone became excited. Huang Shuo said, I'll tidy her up this afternoon, and tomorrow she'll become the spokesperson for your bus group. Xiao Shuo, you're my own brother, you're too good to me. Wang Busi was extremely excited. Huang Shuo continued, later, I will release a statement. The company will terminate all cooperation with Jinglan. You directly shift the blame to Xin Qing Group, and then stir up some controversy with internet water armies, and this matter will be over. Wang Busi laughed, professional, impressive, brother-in-law, I admire you so much. Huang Shuo shook his head with a smile, it's not me praising you, Jinglan, that kind of woman, you actually married her, what taste do you have? Wang Busi sighed, oh, brother-in-law, it was just a momentary impulse, who knew it would end up like this? Okay, that's it. Huang Shuo said, about to hang up. Wang Busi hastily said, this matter with Xiaoye won't go wrong again, right? Rest assured, Mr. O is taking care of her daughter in the hospital, I'm in charge of the company. She's just a female artist, still being played in the palm of my hand. Dare to resist, a contract compensation can crush her. When you say it like that, I feel relieved. Wang Busi finally let go of the stone in his heart. Brother-in-law, let's call it even. Although you divorced my sister, our brother's common interests won't change, that's it. After Huang Shuo finished speaking, he hung up the phone, and then a knock on the door came. Director Huang, it's Xiaoye. Come in. Huang Shuo called out. He immediately sat up straight. Pulling his suit and tie, he looked serious. The office door opened, and Tian Xiaoye, accompanied by Wu Feng and Gu Xianqing, walked in together. Huang Shuo's face changed, and he immediately stood up and asked, Xiaoye, who are these two? Gu Xianqing stepped forward, hello, I am Gu Xianqing, president of Xianqing Group, and this is my assistant, Wu Feng. So you're President Gu, please have a seat and let's talk. Huang Shuo smiled and gestured. Gu Xianqing sat down and went straight to the point, Director Huang, we've already understood the situation, we've come here specifically to explain to you. Huang Shuo waved his hand, no need to explain, I don't want to listen to your explanations. I haven't even said anything yet. Gu Xianqing was somewhat displeased. Huang Shuo shook his head, you don't need to say, Mr. O hasn't come to the company for a few days, and such a big mess has happened, as the director, I may not even be able to sit securely anymore. Gu Xianqing stood up, I'm really sorry, it's our recklessness that has caused trouble to your company. Tian Xiaoye also hurriedly said, Director Huang, Xianqing Group just hired the divine physician Zhu Xian as chief expert, our cooperation with them is mutually beneficial, I hope. Huang Shuo interrupted her, what do you hope for? Tian Xiaoye wasn't afraid, and continued, I hope to continue cooperating with Xianqing Group. Huang Shuo's face changed, you've just come to the company, and haven't even met Mr. O, there are many things you don't understand. Yes, I admit it. Tian Xiaoye nodded. Huang Shuo said, bypassing the company, attending commercial activities privately and signing contracts, do you know the consequences? Tian Xiaoye shook her head, I'm sorry, I didn't know, I just found out about the terms of the contract. Huang Shuo coldly snorted, Mr. O detests cunning artists like you. If she knew about this, she would directly ban you and end your career as an artist. Not only that, you also have to bear 10 times the company's losses in compensation. Do you think, can you handle these things, Tian Xiaoye? Tian Xiaoye bit her lip lightly, I. Gu Xianqing spoke up, Director Huang, things aren't as serious as you say, are they? Huang Shuo laughed, President Gu doesn't understand our company's affairs, I don't blame you. Gu Xianqing said, I've had a brief encounter with Mr. O, as far as I know, she is a very open-minded person. Huang Shuo laughed, President Gu almost forgot to mention. Your company is suspected of damaging the external image of European entertainment. We will sue you and your company.